Check, 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 check. Mic check. Bing, bong, boom, bong, bing, bong, bang. The type of shit I'm on you wouldn't understand. Check, 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 check. All right, I think we're good. All right, what up, motherfuckers? We're live on the Libservative because I didn't want to go live on the Star Bazaar. Too much performance anxiety, too much pressure. But it's Halloween. I wanted to kick it with my people. And I know some of my people are here at the Libservative. So hopefully I will see you guys in chat shortly. I need to send this link out to a couple of people. Actually, I can do it from my phone. Because technology is cool like that, baby. Technology is cool like that. Copy link. Hey, look at that. Getting notifications for myself. Love to see it. Love that for me. Okay. Well, there it is. Man. I need to get some water. Oh, my alarm actually went off and I completely missed it. Hey, Fox, how's it going? I've been around. I was about to go live on the Star Bazaar, but the performance anxiety was real. I really didn't want to go live on the main. I wanted a low-key stream. It's so weird. I'd much rather stream here, where I don't get paid, than stream on the main one. Very strange. I don't know why. But here we are. We're here. Happy Halloween. I'm doing good. All things considered, I'm doing good. Like, I'm not doing bad. It's just, I really didn't want to go live on the main, so we're doing this one instead. Got my water. Despite what it looks like, it's a brownie. It's not a turd. Kind of looks like a piece of poo, but I'm gonna eat it. Yeah, it's low stakes. Like, I don't feel as much pressure going live here. And to be honest with you, the viewership on the Star Bazaar streams it's been low. I think that's why I don't want to go live on the Star Bazaar, is because relatively, like, the viewership has been really, really low on the streams. I went from averaging like 70 to 100 people when Battlefront was popping off, and now I feel like I can barely hit 20. And it's just, fuck. It's kind of demoralizing, you know? Makes me not want to go live. So this, I think this might help. Because here, I don't give a fuck. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I'm not getting, it's not monetized, so what are they going to do? Demonetize me? Worst they can do is give me a copyright strike. No. I've got some videos pulled up. We're just going to hang out. That's all we're doing today. Just going to hang out, watch some videos. I'll react to some shit. I've got one pulled up from Neil deGrasse Tyson. Hold up. What's this one called?
Lately,
it's getting harder to know what's real. Yeah. That one seemed interesting. And we'll watch a couple other ones. My feed is pretty popping today, so we'll just go down the list and see what looks cool. Hey, what up, Daff? Yeah, happy Halloween to you too, man. All Hallows Eve. Yeah, we got Oogie Boogie. We got the mayor. I'm not dressed up myself. I'm dressed up as a YouTuber. That's what I'm going as for Halloween this year. I'm going as a YouTuber. So, I'm already dressed up. But I figured, you know, we got the orange LED lights today for Halloween, you know, and then Oogie and the mayor are going to be carrying the Halloween spirit for me. Yeah, I really was not feeling the main. And it's like, I didn't want to go live and not have a good vibe, you know what I mean? If I'm going to go live, I want to be upbeat. I want to actually be excited for it, and I just wasn't excited for it, so I'm more excited for this. It's so fucking weird, man. I can give less of a fuck. Well. Yeah, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to you too, bro. I'm glad you can see my point of view, because I can barely see my own point of view sometimes. Oh, I still got that shitty transition. Anywho. So I haven't watched this yet. I just found it on my feed and it looked interesting because the thumbnail was Neil talking about flat earth. I'm like, oh shit, Neil deGrasse Tyson's a flat earther now, let's go. Nah, but I think he's going to talk about AI. I have a feeling there's a clip of him that somebody made with AI talking about flat earth. And I think that's what he's going to go into, because the title of the video is, let's see. Yeah, it's getting harder to know what's real. I know it's kind of covered up by the chat right now. I need to redo this entire setup on the libservative. I messed with the one on the Star Bazaar. Made it a lot more streamlined, but I need to put more time and effort into this one. But anyway, let's just see what Mr. Tyson has to say.
Lately, I've been doing calculations.
Me too.
As well as looking back at old NASA footage and raw data from satellites hovering above Earth. And I just can't escape the conclusion that the Earth might actually be flat.
Okay, this is 1000% either AI or he's just fucking with us. Yeah, that's AI.
That's not me.
Nope.
It was never me.
Yep.
Those aren't my words.
Yep.
That's what's called a deep fake.
Ah, good old deep fakes.
What is a deep fake?
So a deep fake, the shortest definition I can come up with is synthetic or manipulated media. And by media, I mean video, audio,
spaghetti,
or images, which is generated with AI, artificial intelligence, to make people appear to say or do things that never actually happened in reality.
Today, we're interviewing an Andromedan.
AI generated clip. I like how he has to include the disclaimer at the top. Yeah, I figured that's what this is about, and this is legit every content creator's worst nightmare. Yeah, AI has been going crazy. Shit looks so real. Yeah, that clip that he showed of him talking about flat earth, that looked really, really good. It like got the background and everything just right.
My apologies. This form takes some getting used to. Yeah.
The term deepfake comes from the deep learning, which is the type of neural networks that are used to generate this type of content. And fake is a fake. Hence, deep fake means definitely generated with AI.
So, Alex, you mentioned deep learning. Could you catch us up on that?
It all starts to breaking it down to the human brain, and basically we're looking at neurons. In AI, a neuron is called a perceptron, and this has multiple inputs, a single output. Each input has an associated weight, and if all the inputs multiplied by the associated weights is higher than a threshold, it will fire
I'm going to turn the video down a little bit.
So
I feel like it was too loud.
Basic concept simulated from the organic matter, from the neuron. In order to train this neuron to do something, you're going to show him what the output should be, and it will adjust the weights so it fires at the right time. Now, this is just a single dot. Then you can expand to a neural network where you have multiple neurons, multiple inputs, multiple outputs, and so on. Now, a deep neural network means multiple layers of this list of neurons.
Yeah.
So when you call the term deep learning, it means deep because there's a lot of depth to train, and usually the amounts of data we're talking about terabytes of data. So that's why it's a huge network. It's a lot of training to do, so that's why it's called deep learning.
I didn't think much about deep fakes until I got deep faked.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the early stuff is fine if it's parody, you know, and if it's obvious it's parody. One of my favorite of these is when I was babyfied in an actual conversation I had with Theo Vaughn on his podcast.
Yeah, that's great.
You're not thinking to yourself, did Neil actually become a baby to do this? Because it's parody.
I thought that.
It's one of the most cherished means of expression we have in the United States. But when you do this and the viewer does not know it's parody,
I need to watch Key and Peele again.
Then you're crossing a line. Obviously, I'm not alone in this landscape as a victim of deepfakes. There are many, many celebrities out there.
Yeah, it's literally any influencers or celebrities or content creators' worst nightmare is somebody putting words in their mouth. And especially if it looks super real, because then they have to come out and be like, look, I swear to God, that was not me. I can't exactly prove it because it looks exactly like me. It sounds exactly like me, but it wasn't me. Just trust me, bro. And trust me, bro, doesn't get you very far.
There are public figures that have been deepfaked in ways that are also affecting the integrity of their actual message that they would post on their authentic platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people write some kind of science script.
I didn't know that either, Fox.
Deepfake me saying the script that they wrote. Some of them are attempts to just spread more science, but through my voice and my persona. Often, in every case that I've seen, some of the science is wrong. These deepfakes are becoming so sophisticated and so subtle that it even fooled a close friend of mine.
I was scrolling through my TikTok feed and I
Making
came
my way
upon
downtown.
a video of you talking about a type 3 civilization. And I was so impressed, I showed my son. I was like, look at this. Can you believe this? I said, I have to call Neil and tell him how brilliant this observation was in this video that I found on TikTok.
You texted me, and there I was in the video narrating it. And
That's a little bit uncanny. Neil does not open his eyes that wide. Like, this straight up looks fake to me, but maybe I'm just able to say that because I know it's fake.
And there's images of me.
That just doesn't look like Neil deGrasse Tyson to me.
Talking about it, and I'm looking at it, and I say, I don't remember this.
Yeah, deepfakes are terrifying. What's even crazier is the fact that this is in porn a lot. It's crazy that people take an AI and can take whoever they want and turn them into porn. Kind of terrifying. Yeah, that's another thing. I haven't really thought too deeply about that one, but you're absolutely right. And then, again, it's the same thing. It's like the celebrity or the public figure will be like, I swear to God, that's not me. I didn't do this. And everybody's going to be like, sure, it's you, straight up. They're like, no, I swear. Trust me, bro. Yeah, it's a problem.
I never did this, but you were all excited
about it.
A
foreseeable problem,
I felt bad saying, dude, that's not me, okay? That's fake me. Mm-hmm. And so what was your reaction when I told you that?
Well, if you felt bad, I felt worse because I totally believed that was you, Neil. It scared me and it made me go crazy. I was going, oh my God. All day I was like, oh, I will never trust the Interstellar soundtrack again. Like, you can't be talking over the Interstellar music.
So I'm flattered that people want to put me into content in a way that attracts audiences. I'm seriously flattered by that. However, it's a deep fake. About 15% of it was false. I don't think it was purposefully false. The person just didn't know. Mm-hmm. If it's fooling people and people are not thinking, oh, this is a parody or this is just a fun excursion, then it's transgressive of the integrity we've worked so hard to build. Something's got to be done about that. Yeah. And something will.
That's an interesting point because I feel like trust in science and trust in the scientific institutions has already dropped significantly. Like, even me, somebody who's a diehard, like, I bat for team science all the time, even I've got some cynical, like, points of view when it comes to certain topics, because I know that scientists and people who make discoveries, they have a vested interest in, like, making sure that their ideas stand on top, right? And if any other scientist or anybody else who has a counter idea, it's in that scientist's best interest to be like, no, don't listen to that guy, listen to me. Because there's a personal stake in it, right? And obviously, it shouldn't be like that. We should put progress and discovery above all else, but there is that personal stake. And maybe, again, that could just be my cynical mind assuming the worst of it, but if I'm feeling it, I know the general population is too. I think it started with COVID. Maybe it didn't start with COVID, but COVID definitely hammered it in. Dottore Fauci and everything, you know?
Of course, a science video here or there that gets deep-faked, or the integrity of a celebrity, that might not get as widely noticed as if a deep fake shows up of a political figure that affects the stability of peace in the world.
At the beginning of the war, there was a movie posted on...
Yeah, that's a big one. I could see a deep fake of Trump be like, okay, we're going to drop all the nukes. Today, I'm hitting the button right now. Let's go. It's go time, baby.
Hacked Ukrainian TV. It was picturing Zelensky that was stating that they're surrendering to Russia. And later on, there was another movie showing up on YouTube or Facebook. It was this time picturing Putin saying that, hey, we're finally getting to peace. They weren't that technically good. I mean, they fooled some people, but the majority noticed that it's fake.
Yeah.
Especially since, and I'm talking about the one with Zelensky, it had like a bigger head than normal. Not huge difference, but if you really know how the president looks, you could actually notice the difference. Today, for everybody, I hope it would look very fake. But obviously for other people that aren't really exposed to multiple media streams and don't really have access to internet, it might actually be, you saw it on TV, right? It must be true.
Right. And also I feel like the older generations are going to be the ones most susceptible to getting fooled by this stuff. Like, they're the ones commenting on Facebook, like an AI video of Jesus shredding at a skate park and be like, he has arisen, and then they're going to comment amen. You know what I mean? So it's like the people who are just kind of out of touch and maybe who don't really fully understand everything, especially like, because AI is kind of new. Like, it's always been around somewhat, not really, but it's definitely like gotten more prominent in the last couple of years. And the Zelensky video he just showed, I'm pretty sure that was a couple years old, but it's just getting better and better and better every fucking month.
Zelensky,
like, not even every year.
And said that's fake, but there are many.
It's getting harder and harder to tell.
Many other stories or situations that happened that weren't so popular. For instance, when you have a campaign, political campaign, usually you have to stop campaigning around, Friday, and until Sunday you can't state anything anymore. And on Sunday there are the elections. So there were countries where deepfakes were released on Friday evening or Saturday morning, about the politicians getting bribed or discussing war or discussing particular subjects, and they were not allowed to speak to say they're fake. So that actually had huge implications on people that vote.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Old people be getting scammed by AI all the fucking time.
Fakes are already sophisticated enough to exploit people's confidence in ways that swindles them out of their money. By the way, scamming is not new to the internet. People have been scammed ever since there's been the premise of trust that one human would have in another. But
yeah, definitely the old people are definitely going to be believing everything an AI says. Absolutely. The internet is the home of information, but it's also become the home of misinformation. It sucks. Yep. And it's going to be a process of trial and error. I think most people who are internet savvy have a pretty good idea of like how to sift through that information and find out what's real and what's not. But there are way too many people who just look at a headline and take it at face value, and then they run with that story without even really investigating it, especially if it confirms their own bias. It's like, see, I'm right. And it's like, well, if you click on it, you realize that maybe not.
With AI participating in this exercise in the hands of nefarious few, it's taken to another level.
Okay, so if we look at the types of scams that make use of deepfakes. So we have the romance/investment scams. And this discussion is very personal. I receive tens of these messages every week. And they're all like, hey, this is Joanna, you're my driver. At what hour do you come to the airport? The first feeling, the first reaction you have is like, hey, I'm not the person you're talking to. And then they'll say, oh, sorry, my name is Joanna, who are you? And they'll start talking to you, ask you about your business, what you do. She's going to tell about her side. And the discussion is going and going. And at some point, after they gain your trust, then they will start as saying, look, this is how I make money, I invest in these funds, and they'll try to get you in there as well. One thing leads to the other, and then you're bankrupt. Then you're gonna have the...
Another reason that it's old people who will get scammed a lot, part of it is because they just don't know any better a lot of the time, but it's also because they have money. It's because they've lived their lives, they're retired, they've got some cash sitting in the bank, so they are a perfect target for scammers and people who want to manipulate them and be like, and just try to, work their way into their bank account. They are the perfect target. And with AI, it just becomes so much easier for that to happen.
BEC, the classical business email compromise. There was a famous case that came out of Hong Kong a few years ago. So basically this financial person gets into a meeting, an online meeting with everybody else. There were other 14 people in there, all from the CEO office and other financial people and upper management, so to speak. During that meeting, they advised him to do payments in total of $25 million. But in reality, nobody besides him worked for the company. They were all other people using deepfake to simulate that they are the persons who stated they were. Then we have the relatives types of scam, family members, so to speak. Basically, somebody calls you and tells you it's a family member. And the idea is that the person that's talking to you is saying, hey, Dad, I'm wounded or I'm arrested. I need help.
Oh, shit. That is fucking sinister. I didn't even know about this.
Most of the time having exact your son's voice.
Yeah.
Because these guys, before doing that, they go and find recordings, or they actually call...
I've got plenty of those on the internet. Fuck. I'm in danger, chat.
Call your son saying they're, I don't know, pizza delivery or just asking default information, whatever. You need only a few tens of seconds of recording to then be able to replicate the voice as an AI. It's always based on urgency, so you have to act fast. So if you're scared and you really act fast, you're going to fall for it.
Yeah.
And you're going to send that money because your son, daughter, neighbor is in danger.
Yeah. So what hope do we have to defend against any of this? What tools are available other than plain old common sense?
Which ain't so common these days.
For me, I stopped answering phone calls from unknown numbers. Because in the past year, besides 2 exceptions, it was always a scammer. It was always trying to get details on where do I live, what do I do, if I confirm that I work at a particular bank, and so on.
Can't they masquerade a phone number that you might be familiar with?
They can, but knowing which numbers I have in my list is a bit more difficult. A tool that's already commercially available, which is called Scameo, which basically it's the end result of the AI honeypots.
Cool. I'm officially the vocalist of a new band, chat. Like, I've been talking to my friend, he's the bassist of this band, and I've basically been the vocalist because I've been writing music with them for a little bit. But they had to, like, officially ask me, and they just did, so... And I said yes. I said yes. I'm officially the vocalist, chat. Ooh, ooh! We're back in the music business. Let's do it! Let's do it. Glad to be part of the team. Fuck yeah. Alright.
Employing, so to speak, vulnerable persons, which are faked, are created with AI. The scammer will call them, will start having a discussion. Our honeypot AI will continue the discussion saying, yes, tell me more. Yes, I'm interested in your investment.
So this call is regarding on your loan application where you got pre-qualified from $500 to $5,000. Are you still looking for any personal loan so I can help with that?
Oh, I see. Yes, I might be interested. Can you tell me more about the terms and conditions?
Oh my god, that's so good. There we go. There we go. Use their weapons against them. Hell yeah. I wasn't paying attention to what he was saying before because I got that message, but that's funny. Use AI to scam the scammer. I'm into it.
So basically, not only they're wasting their time, because they're not talking to a real person, they're not...
That's one of my favorite video niches, by the way. There's a couple channels who do really good work about just wasting a scammer's time and then hearing the scammer just get mad and screaming over the phone. Oh my god, it's so good. I love those videos.
Make any money out of it. We're also interpreting the things that they say. So basically, we get more details on how to increase our detection. So we can warn people, hey, if this guy calls you, not legit. There's also 2 other projects that are pretty much mature and are probably going to be released to the public quite soon. So basically, we have 2 larger tools that we're talking about for deepfakes. The first one is specialized on video and images.
Completely wrong about this. How can you be so dense?
And basically, video a score, a threshold if it's fake or not. But for instance, for images, it will also tell you which part of the image is fake and which part is real. Because in many times...
Hey, thank you, Fox. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of it. The AI scams. You heard this one story about this girl who heard her daughter call and say that she was kidnapped and to pay a ransom, and it was an AI deep faking her voice. Absolutely terrifying. Yeah, straight up. And yeah, scam baiting is the most entertaining shit ever to watch. There's a couple of really good channels. There's this one guy who always wears sunglasses, and I think he uses a voice changer, but he makes himself sound like an old granny. He does such a good job. It's great.
They don't just generate stuff from zero. They take something that's legit and they alter it. So it makes it more believable in this way. And the second one, which is for audio, it will transcribe into text and then decide based on the text if it's fake or not, and give you also a threshold about that.
Will there come a time where the deepfake AI is so good, there's nothing to learn from it to tell you that it's fake? And that would render the tools useless?
I believe that there may be a day when a deep fake is going to be more appealing to a person, even though a protection tool will tell him that's fake. They will be like, no, this has to be true. You're wrong.
Okay, so then what happens then?
I hope some regulations will happen.
I feel like that's already kind of happening, though, and it's what I talked about earlier with confirmation bias. If somebody sees something that they already believe, and then what they're seeing is confirming that for them, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm right. See, this is telling me that I'm right. And it won't even matter that it's not real because it's confirming what they already believe. And that's dangerous. I mean, it's already happening. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say that like it's an upcoming threat just because it's something that's already happening. It's been happening for a long time. I'm not saying like confirmation bias in general is necessarily a bad thing, because if you're right about something and then you get that confirmed, sure, it's like, I guess your bias is getting confirmed and you are correct, but usually when we talk about confirmation bias, it's not in a good way. So it's already happening, but it'll get worse. It'll absolutely get worse the better this technology gets.
And some particular parts of the internet are going to be banned.
What I had to think about it, and I said, well, that makes complete sense. Just days ago, Sora 2 was released, and I was
Has anybody else been getting ads for Sora 2? I'd be getting this anime one where it's like this anime villain saying, "I'm Sora 2, the new AI in town," and it's turning it into like some epic anime battle. So obnoxious. I hate getting these ads.
Impressed that they had a rules of engagement.
Van Damme!
Where if you're going to deep fake someone, that person has to not only also have an account, but needs to give you their explicit permission for you to do it.
Yeah.
By those measures, I should never end up faked by anybody because, number one, I'm not on the platform, nor am I given anybody permission to do so.
Hey, what up, Quentin? Welcome to the chat.
Is this... that sounds like a sensible way to take AI forward. Would you agree?
No.
There's already some of these protections in place, especially on YouTube. Every time I upload a video, it asks me to check a box that says, are there any, like, it's something to the effect of, are there any like AI generated clips, or is there any misleading clips or something that resembles a real person, and like I have to tell it yes or no. I always click no because I don't use AI in my videos, but they're already starting to roll out those protections. I'm sure other platforms have it too, like TikTok and stuff.
No, okay.
It's kind of on the onus is on the content creator to be honest about that, and I have a feeling they're not always honest about it.
I mean, for Sora, that's perfectly fine. That's correct. And
yeah, okay, you get those same ads, Fox. You also got an ad that was just Michael Jackson snatching someone's food. Hey, let the king of pop eat.
Platform, that's fine.
Let him eat.
But there will be other legit or illegit competitors which will not.
That's funny.
So unless it became an industry-wide set of guardrails that are agreed upon, you will still have a job.
In cybersecurity, you'll always
have a job. For now,
yes, I totally eat bananas without
I can tell the deepfake videos of myself.
You know that shot in the opening scene, or not the opening scene, but it's the introductory scene of for Huntrix and K-pop Demon Hunters. Rumi's just sniffing that one sushi roll and just deep throats it. Yep, that's me with bananas, straight up.
Even if people who know me well couldn't. The reason why I know how I speak. I know the vocal intonations, the timbre of my voice. I know that there are pauses that I put into my sentences. Some are thought pauses, others are dramatic pauses. I've noticed that AI hasn't figured that out yet. It just has my words and my voice, and it just rattles it off. Other deepfakes are people just use me.
So there was a video, I can't remember whose video it was, but it was a Battlefront content creator. It might have been Vorpal or somebody, but they AI deepfaked my own voice, and it's interesting that he brings that up because I noticed that too with the AI version of me, where there weren't those awkward pauses. Like, it doesn't sound authentic. It just sounds like, I don't know. I part of me understands why people think I'm an AI voice on my videos, just because when I read off of a script, there aren't those awkward pauses, and I'm not taking my time to like think about the next word or anything because I'm literally just reading, and so it comes out a little bit less natural. Like this is way more natural, and like the way my voice goes up and down, and the ums and the uhs and the stutters. Yeah, AI really hasn't figured that out yet.
And my likeness to advertise something that they want to sell you. I can let you know here and now, I have never done that, nor will I ever do that. You will not see me hawking products, not soft drinks, not sneakers. I don't care. It doesn't matter what.
You'll see him hawking loogies though. Some hawk, spit on that thing. All right, cool video, Neil. I appreciate you. Yeah, the YouTube feed is fucking lit today. I wasn't really sure what to watch after that, but oh, cool. Good news about Eclipse, at least. I don't really care too much. I'll be real. It's a Star Wars Eclipse. I just saw that it was a Star Wars theory video. Yeah, let's see what else YouTube got cooking for us. We are on the politics and religion channel, so I can watch whatever the fuck I want. Not worry about shit. Is Battlefield 6 Battle Royale bad? I want to watch that one. I was on my PlayStation earlier, and that one popped up on the store. I still got to get Battlefield 6. Yeah, the feed is pretty fucking lit today, man. AI knows a voice, but not the intricacies of it. Yeah, that would probably take hundreds of hours of content to find out all of that. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm wondering if it can even, like, figure that out. Or how some people use, like, placeholder words. I say the word like a lot, and I try not to. But that's a placeholder word. Or swear words, and ums and uhs and little pauses like that. Yeah. I'm actually wondering when it's going to get that, because that'll make it sound so much more authentic. That's kind of spooky to think about. Let's watch Abbott and Preach. Abbott and Preach is always a good time. They broke Fresh and Fit again!
You made 30 plus videos talking. Actually, it's 44 video. Actually, it's now.
Oh, actually. Good God.
Now we're gonna keep going.
Farm in that content.
Need to box me. No, mother.
We are better than you.
All the text
Period.
That's one of the biggest lies that they tell to this day, saying that we ran away from the boxing match. We lied to you guys. That was never his fucking wife.
You know, Myron was getting upset, so then he decided to open up a video on us.
Look at Myron showing up in our live stream chats, huh? Yapping away. You
Anus
mad?
and reach.
You mad?
Got AI pictures in?
Yeah, that was corny.
What were just talking about AI? That doesn't look anything like Preach.
Look like DC Cormier?
A little
bit.
Like
the DC, like
if DC had a mustache, maybe, yeah.
Cormier. I look like Daniel Cormier on that shit. I ain't mad at it. Made me look like a UFC fighter.
So I always like it because, you know, Myron gets
not just a UFC fighter, the GOAT.
And then I have a good laugh. So why don't we play the video of Myron?
Bro, wait. Look at the painting behind me. The real painting is supposed to be a lady. That's a white dude. What kind of AI are you using? This ain't Sora.
The new Adolf app.
It's a black woman too, but you know how he feels about them.
Yes.
He said, I don't care. Even in my jokes, get them
white.
He put a white dude instead of a black one. This is not going to help him out on this video.
Oh, my God.
That's a good catch. That's a good catch.
This is great.
Let's go ahead and start this timeline.
To be fair, he probably didn't do that. I'm sure that was the AI just doing its best.
Right from the beginning. We're going to go back to 2021. April 26, 2021.
Whoa. That's not the start of this timeline.
That's not where it started.
We don't really talk about this much because it's just like, it's kind of boring to get into details. But since he brought up the timeline, I always like to do this. So before we even met these guys, a lot of you guys don't know this, and he didn't include in his narrative, is that before I ever met this.
I gotta say, I like this new format that they do a lot. They never used to sit down at a table like this, and I think this is clipped from live streams and later edited, but they used to just stand on their feet and riff and bullshit about stuff. I actually like this format a lot more, and I noticed that Preach actually opens up a lot more too. Usually Abba carries the conversations most of the time, but with this format, I've noticed that Preach really has a lot more to say. It's cool.
Before we ever went on his podcast, a month before, he decided to get on a podcast and be a little spicy. And I'll explain why, because I'm going to, for the first time, do a little bit of behind the scenes, okay? But here it is. I'm gonna pull it up on screen.
I'm gonna take a bit from everybody, and I was like,
I'm not too sure what this video is about. Like, obviously it's about Myron and Fresh and Fit and everything, so we'll just roll with it for a little bit. I don't know how interesting it's going to be. This is almost a half-hour long video. I'm probably not going to sit through the whole thing. And I would rather talk about, like, spirituality and politics and controversial shit, personally. So, just like to see. For some flavor.
All right. So, you can see right there, it says March 7th, 2021. We didn't go on the podcast, or me specifically, until the next month afterwards, okay? And you guys can hear what he said for himself.
This is what I think. They ain't in it like we are. You know what I'm saying? They took what they needed, got the clout, got the girls. Now, you know what? I can start to observe some of these blue pill ideals that I used to have. Anybody that has common sense understands that the RP and everything else like that, alpha, beta, all these, they're placeholder terms to explain things. It doesn't necessarily mean, oh, we're all here watching the Matrix. Red pill, blue pill, purple pill. No, you idiot. Like, stop being stupid. It's simply an analogy to help people understand the differences.
I need more sound bites.
The lies, etc.
So to be clear, right now he's talking about me specifically, but it's fine.
He was in the middle of his RP awakening, but he didn't fully take it in, and he doesn't understand. If this guy was to meet a bad chick, he will still get taken to the cleaners. As much as he wants to prenup all other stuff, he ain't ready.
I want y'all to pay attention to how he acted when I asked him about the comments he had made before I ever came on the podcast. Again, I never spoke with this guy. He was talking spicy, saying I'd get fucking taken over by a girl, that, he called me an idiot, stupid. Oh, you guys are married? And
stupid.
It's fine. I don't mind.
You felt like we were kind of blue pilled, right?
I don't remember. What show was this one?
This was on. This was Rollo Donovan. We were all together. Donovan Sharp's live. We did a video about basically.
Oh, that guy.
Shout out to Fresh. Myron's trying to escape accountability and any kind of. What show was this on? Nigga, you said that shit like a month ago. Shut the f up. But Fresh couldn't skip. I remember when you was talking shit about it. He threw some right. Those are right under the bus.
We've got so many streams, bro. I'm trying to remember which one.
I remember.
Oh man,
I remember. Oh, me. I remember. It was. He threw him under the bus. He was driving.
Yes.
Pulled him out of the driver's seat.
And also, you guys might not remember this era. This is the era where Myron was accepting his balding nature, and he just looked different. Now he's got the Indian hairline. He pushed the shit far forward, and
embrace that shit, bro. Bald is beautiful. Embrace that shit. Don't hide it.
You guys might not recognize this person, but that is indeed Amru Fuddle.
I'm trying.
Don't hide it, he says as he puts his hat back on.
I'm trying to remember.
I just look good in hats.
Look at the live stream chat. They're all laughing at him. Look at this dude. And this is what I mean. A lot of content creators do this, right? They'll talk spicy before you know each other. And then when you even ask them about it, they're like, I have amnesia. I don't even care. But just stand on what the fuck you said. And this guy was just such a coward about it. It made me look at him very differently right away.
He said, I was going to get taken to the cleaners if I met a baddie.
Well, here's the thing. So you can only go off. You can only assume. That's what human nature is, right?
I also find it funny that he came with the smoke.
Yes. So whenever this guy talks big and he says all this huffing and puffing, just know he's actually quite the big pussy when it comes to things like this. But it was just a funny moment to me. Did you have your RP awakening?
No.
How come you haven't awakened?
I did. That's why my thumbnail is called Atheism Red Pilled, is because I was too lazy to make a thumbnail, and so I just used an old one from an older video on this channel. I had my RP awakening. At first I thought when Myron was saying RP, I thought he was saying roleplay. But then I'm like, oh, no, red pilled, I got it.
I like sleeping, nigga.
Yeah, me too.
I need my beauty sleep. 2021, as you guys know, Alba came down to Miami and did a podcast with us, and Preach called in back from Canada. You guys can go and watch the interview. I can link it below if you guys want. But yeah, Preach was basically being a little bitch throughout the entire interview, acting as if he doesn't want to be there or whatever.
I didn't know who these guys were. I had no clue who they were. Abba introduced them to me. As, oh, we're going to do a podcast. This and that doesn't tell much. They asked me a question. So I'm like, all right, let me take in consideration what's going on, and let me formulate what I have to say.
Wait, are you going to talk about the thing with the...
Yes.
Hold on, no. Okay. You know what? Why don't I pull up?
There's some people that don't know how to have conversation with people they're attracted to. They freeze up and they're just like, so do you like...
Me with my girlfriend?
They don't know how to act.
So yeah, just gave him an example. So what's going on with these masks?
No, sure. Hey, we got 4,900.
Look at my
I can't see. 4,921 of you niggas in here. Yeah. Like the goddamn video, you ninja watchers. I was looking at the YouTube numbers, and over 55% of you guys don't like the video. You fucking ninja watchers, this shit's pissing me off. You gotta make threats right now. Like the video, sub to the channel. Such an Ivan freak. Yeah, and right now, guys, do it right now. Do it not. We're gonna do it. You're gonna do it right now.
No, don't do it. We have guests in house. We have guests in house.
Yo, we gotta make threats. What are we gonna do to them?
I'm so confused by what's going on.
You're gonna see my feet, and you're gonna No. You got guests right now. Don't do it. Wait. How many likes we got right now?
We got about 2.7K likes.
Oh, hell no! You don't like the video right now! Fucking Ninja Watchers! They don't that shit! 500 likes right now! This sucks! You guys gotta like the goddamn video right now!
All right, Ninja out.
Ninja out!
Oh, this is back when Preach had his dreads.
I'm the guest on your show. You ask me a question. I take the time to answer your question, even though if I don't agree with what you're saying, I'm like, all right, let me give this a try. You interrupt me for what?
Advantage.
No. Get out of here. Teleport.
Like, it's long.
That shit's dope.
I really have no idea what the fuck is going on. I don't watch Fresh and Fit. I watch Abbott and Preach a lot, but Fresh and Fit is not my sauce. So I am very unfamiliar with their antics. I'm guessing this is just commonplace on the show. Did somebody say the door to darkness? And yeah, that's what, in this context, I think that's what RP means, is red pilled. Because same as you, I thought, when I first heard him say it, I thought he was talking about roleplay. Nandeska. Star, I want to let you know you have officially dropped 45 pounds and put your diabetes into remission. You're medication free too. Also, Star Gay. Congratulations, bro. Congratulations on your 45-pound loss. That is a major accomplishment, dude. And the fact your diabetes is in remission, fantastic, bro. Good job. You're gay.
Hey, man, listen.
Why are you gay?
It was going on and on and on. There was no point. I didn't understand what they were saying. What was this
Neither can
about?
I. I couldn't understand either.
And I'm
like, it's the masks. They're wearing those ninja masks. I'm pretty sure it was a play on bit. A certain word that I do not have the complexion to say. But you're picking up what I'm putting down, I
trying
hope.
to make eye contact with Abba. Like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah.
And
Okay, I made it 8 minutes into this video. I love Abba and Preach, but Fresh and Fit's kind of killing the vibe for me right now. Let's see what else YouTube has to offer, eh? There's a new shoe on head video. I think I've actually missed the last 2 shoe videos, so I could actually have an authentic reaction to shoe. It's been a while since I've done that. It's been a while since I've streamed on this channel in general, actually. We could watch the Hassan drama. Man, I want to watch some, like, religious shit. If my thumbnail is going to be about atheism red pilled, I got to talk about God, right? Let's, that actually looks fun. The first hit, atheism debunked. Let's do this. Let's fucking do this, bro. The Council of Trent. I actually like this guy. This guy's, I like the way he presents himself. He's very chill and very matter of fact. Pretty sure he's a Christian. So
of all the different arguments for the existence of God,
he bats for the side of theism. But I like the way he presents himself.
Of all the different arguments for the existence of God, only one gets mentioned again and again by modern atheists as being a powerful proof for God's existence. And I won't leave you in suspense any longer. That argument is the fine-tuning argument for God's existence.
What, how the universe is just perfectly organized and fine-tuned for life? Because I can counter that in about 20 seconds. The universe is hostile as fuck. The universe hates life. No. Try going out into space and try breathing. Yeah, the universe ain't fine-tuned for shit. We live in a very tiny pocket that is perfectly fine-tuned for us right now, but not even all parts of the Earth, though. That's the thing about it, is like, if you go to Antarctica, you're fucked. The universe ain't fine-tuned for life? Hell no.
It goes like this.
I disagree.
According to the fine-tuning argument, the odds the universe's laws of physics would be life-permitting are almost zero. They're like the odds of winning 10 games of poker in a row, all with royal flushes. If you suspect design in the case of that winning streak, then you should suspect a similar design in the far more improbable laws that govern our universe. But first...
Atheism. Aw, shit. Here I go again, having to preach your Catholicism. Do it, bro. Atheism debunked. Who wants to bet that it doesn't debunk anything? I'll take that bet.
Let's take a look at what atheists say about the fine-tuning argument and why so many people find it compelling. And then I'll address a relatively new objection to the argument that I haven't covered before in previous episodes. First, here's Richard Dawkins.
When you come on later to the origin of the physical constant,
Dawkins?
Now that's getting warm. That's getting close to a good argument.
And here's the late atheist Christopher Hitchens.
Essentially,
The
it
goat.
says, why are conditions so optimal for life?
That's only on the left side.
In this terrestrial orb. Fine-tuning. And I was surprised to find that Richard was impressed by that too. I mean, we know what the arguments against it are. And I can tell them to you if you're right.
Like 99.9999999% of the universe is out to kill us.
Arguments, but there is something that has to impress you. I mean, the likelihood that there could be nothing is so strong, but not to be impressed by the fact that we are here rather than not, it is to be, well, too easily unimpressed.
At some point, certainly, we're all asked, well, which is the best argument you've yet come up with?
Here's the thing about fine-tuning, and the fine-tuning argument is that it's being looked at from two different perspectives. On the theological side, it's being looked at that God created this little pocket of the universe that is perfect for life and allows life to grow and flourish. But on the other side of the argument, it's that it's not that God created it, it's that it was created when the universe was created, and maybe it just so happens that the way the universe organized itself here allowed for life to flourish. And because we are a part of life, we sort of view it through the other lens. Like, if things happened differently, we wouldn't be here. And like, we're kind of looking at the same problem just from two opposite ends, you know?
It's from the other side, and I think every one of us picks the fine-tuning one as the most intriguing.
The Goldilocks one. Yeah, okay.
Here's Rationality Rules admitting that many people find the argument persuasive.
Overall, based exclusively on my own conviction, I'd place fine-tuning arguments in either B or C tier. But since so many others find them persuasive, especially intuitively persuasive, I'm happy to bump them to A tier.
Yeah, intuitively persuasive. I think it's because we are life. So from our perspective, it just looks like, wow, everything is so perfect for us. But the other end of that is, it's not that everything is perfect for us, it's that everything is the way it is, and because it is this certain way, that's what allowed us to be here to begin with. It's just a backwards way of looking at it.
They are.
I don't find fine-tuning all that persuasive, and I'm having a hard time articulating it just because it's a complicated topic, but I would put it in B tier personally.
Freely admit, compelling arguments.
An atheist YouTuber named Genetically Modified Skeptic says,
finally, we're up to S tier, where only the most effective arguments belong. At this tier, I'm going to place the teleological argument, specifically the argument from fine-tuning.
Is this
Given
GMS?
its high intuitive...
Genetically Modified Skeptic. I'm finding myself disagreeing more and more with this guy the more I watch his shit. He's... I agree with him when it comes to God, but basically everything outside of that, I'm like, nah, bad take, bro. Thoughts on an Unforgiven prequel movie with Scott Eastwood playing William Money and Michael B. Jordan playing a young Morgan Freeman, leading right into Unforgiven. I've never seen Unforgiven, so, I mean, cool. Michael B. Jordan's great. I'm not super familiar with Scott Eastwood, but no, I'm all for it. And Fox, like, you kind of get what I'm saying, right? Like, you couldn't have said it better. It's not perfect for us. We're perfect for it. Yeah. It's hard to articulate, but I think I got the point across. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Turn its fallacy into a cheap victory to some, its incredible communicability, and its refutation-resisting ability of turning any challenge into an attack on its user's existential security, the teleological argument belongs in S tier.
Alex O'Connor and Joe Schmidt rank the fine-tuning argument as an A, or top-level argument, because the alternative explanations for the universe's fine-tuning often don't seem very plausible.
Is it on Netflix? Unforgiven?
Less plausible. I mean, it tells us something's, I don't know, something's up, something's going on, something strange about our universe, maybe.
Something about the universe is in a way that it could very easily have not been,
at least epistemic.
That seems difficult to explain.
Yeah, it is difficult to explain. It's hard to articulate. It's just a matter of perspective. it's like from one angle you look at it is that it was created for us, like exactly like you said, Fox. Like you actually summarized it perfectly. It's not that it was created for us, it's just we were created because it is the way that it is, and if it were any different we would not exist.
Okay, sure, you know what, fine,
A
fine,
tier it
we'll
is.
shake on it. A tier.
A tier it is.
Fine-tuning argument
Not
for
on
the existence of
Netflix.
God. Tier
I'll look for it
A.
on Amazon.
Also, fun
I've got
fact,
Prime.
this was filmed at Cameron Bertuzzi's house, and Cameron and I were downstairs during this interview until we crashed a small part of it.
Cool.
Finally, the philosopher Philip Goff was once an atheist, but the fine-tuning of the laws of nature and the universe was one of the pieces of evidence that led him to believe in panpsychism instead of atheism, or the view that consciousness is a fundamental part of reality. And from there, he eventually came to accept a very liberal form of Christianity that, in part, denies God's omnipotence because of the problem of evil. However, the fine-tuning of the universe is something that kept Goff from fully embracing an atheistic, purposeless universe.
That's so interesting. I've never heard of that. What was it? Something psychism? Panpsychism? I've never heard that before, but I would actually agree with that. That consciousness isn't like a intrinsic part of the universe. It's my personal belief that consciousness is the way the universe experiences itself. I mean, we are of the cosmos, as Neil deGrasse Tyson will always say. Like, we are literally made of stardust. We are the universe experiencing itself, and that's what consciousness is. I would actually agree with that consciousness is intrinsic in the universe.
He describes in his 2023 book, Why: The Purpose of the Universe. I think many people consider the fine-tuning argument persuasive because when people seek evidence for the existence of God, they want something that seems like it cannot have any natural explanation. One time when I was debating Dan Barker on the existence of God, he told me he would believe God exists if I could guess what...
Forgive me, I have so much input to like every 2 sentences that the guy says. I'm doing my best to not pause it and get my 2 cents in, so I'm trying here.
But Dan had written
I just like this
inside
stuff.
of an
I'm super
envelope.
fascinated.
So what would convince me to change my mind would be for you to ask God to tell this audience what's written on this sheet of paper here. Does God know it?
That sounds like you would think that David Blaine is God.
Does God know it?
Does God know what is written on that paper?
Yes.
I can't see what's on
If
there.
he's
but-
omniscient.
I know, but you know, inside of here, inside this envelope.
inside of it. Does he know what's written there? Yes, he does.
Okay, does God answer prayers?
Yes, but sometimes he says no.
So will you ask, well, you're asking me. So you are asking me what it would take.
Yeah.
And so if God answers prayer, as the Bible says, and if you believe that, and if he knows everything and he knows what's on this, I would like you to pray and ask God to tell you
So
what is
let
written.
me understand, we have 15 seconds left. If Jesus appeared and performed a miracle for you, you would ask God to apologize. But if I could do a magic trick, you would
It's not a magic
become
trick.
a Christian.
It's not a magic trick.
Now suppose I correctly guessed what Barker had written. Why would that be impressive? Because the odds of getting that correct by chance alone are so small that chance is not a plausible explanation. Instead, there must be some kind of design. But if an atheist reaches that conclusion with the envelope example, why not reach it with the even more highly improbable case of fine-tuned constants in a life-permitting universe? Now keep in mind that fine-tune does not mean optimally designed. If it did, the argument would beg the question. Because the universe's laws of physics...
Sure, because it's not optimally designed, and Antarctica is a perfect example of that. The vacuum of space is a perfect example of that. We can't survive out there.
Physics were optimally designed, it follows the universe was optimally designed. Well, that's not a good proof of the existence of God. This opens up the objection that nearly all of the universe is hostile to life. It doesn't seem optimally designed.
It is
for
very
life.
hostile to life.
But the fine-tuning argument does not say the universe is maximally or optimally designed for life. Fine-tuning is a neutral term. It just means that of all the possible values of the constants in the laws of physics, the range that are life-permitting are really, really small. The fact that the constants fall within this incredibly narrow range is wildly surprising if atheism is true and the universe has no ultimate purpose. But it's not surprising if theism is true and God created the universe for life like us. Now, I personally was not a big fan of the fine-tuning argument in the past because I prefer the evidence for God be directly accessible, like seeing contingent objects or changing things around us or directly accessing our moral intuitions. But while the rare life-permitting values of the constants and the laws of physics were discovered just a few decades ago, people had an understanding of an argument like this long before that discovery. For example, the 18th century Anglican scholar William Paley wrote a defense of God's existence that many people remember for its so-called watchmaker argument. It goes like this. Just as the complexity of a watch in the sand points to a watchmaker, the complexity of the world around us points to a universe maker. Now, many atheists reply to Paley by saying that the theory of evolution allows living creatures to naturally become more complex over time, which is something machines like watches cannot do. But Paley believed his argument also applied to the laws of nature themselves, which govern how living organisms grow and develop. He wrote the following: "The planets could not have kept their orbits, and if the law of gravitational attraction had not been what it is, or at least if the prevailing law had transgressed the limits above assigned, every deviation would have been fatal." The fine-tuning argument impresses many atheists because it presents an easily understandable phenomenon that naturally points to God, i.e. fine-tuning for laws that produce intelligent embodied life.
I wouldn't say it logically leads to God because you then have to define what God is. And no two gods in, well, I shouldn't say no two gods, but the gods of the various religions are very, very different in ability, in scope, in scale. So first I would ask like which God we're talking about here. For hot tip to any atheist, always ask which God we're talking about because that can narrow down the arguments that you can make against it. Obviously, dude's a Christian, so I know he's batting for the Judeo-Christian God, Yahweh the Father, but it's always an important question to ask. Which God are we talking about?
Something that cries out for an explanation. In contrast to other arguments, many people don't intuitively see the need to explain the existence of contingent objects or changing things. And when it comes to morality, people
Yeah, even so, the fine-tuning argument poses this question: why wouldn't it all be optimally designed? Why not? That's your question about the argument. Right, like if God wanted to create a universe that could sustain life, why wouldn't he make a universe that is perfect for life all around, right? I think that's what you're asking. It's a good question.
Often retreat to subjectivism to remove a phenomena, namely objective morality or moral facts, that needs to be explained. But the fact of fine-tuning cannot be so easily dismissed. Luke Barnes and Drake Lewis argue for the fact of fine-tuning in their book, A Fortunate Universe. And they agree on this fact about the universe, even though Barnes is a theist and Lewis is an atheist. People just naturally marvel at the idea of our universe beating such fantastic odds against it having life, and that it's easy for them to see a larger plan explaining all of that. And as I noted earlier, the alternatives to design don't seem very compelling. An infinite multiverse creates its own issues and makes any kind of explanation absurd. Consider the poker example I raised earlier. You could explain away 10 royal flushes in a row as something that is bound to happen, or even bound to happen an infinite number of times if we live in an infinite multiverse.
Yeah.
But in order to explain away the improbability of fine-tuning, you've also explained away the ability to spot design in anything that is highly improbable. The cost is very high to pay. Now, in saying that atheists consider the fine-tuning argument
the cost is high to pay, but that almost sounds like he doesn't like that explanation, because that is true. In a universe of infinite possibilities where anything can and will happen, given enough time, those things will happen. And the example that I remember, the example that I was shown that like the mental image vividly stays in my mind is like, imagine you put an apple inside of a box and that box survives just millions and billions and trillions of years. That apple inside the box is eventually going to decay. But in a universe of infinite possibilities, those atoms and particles that make up that apple will eventually rearrange, and that apple will become a whole apple again. It'll go from a whole apple into a rotten, decrepit state, and then over time, those particles will rearrange into a perfectly good apple again. Like, this is the theory, right? In a universe of infinite possibilities, given an infinite amount of time, anything that can happen will happen. So it's a fun thought experiment.
Top tier argument, that doesn't mean they find it convincing, because
Or like here's another one. There's another example of like a dryer drying your clothes after you wash them, right? Given enough time, theoretically, in a universe of infinite possibilities, that dryer could stop the drying cycle and all of your clothes will fall out already perfectly folded and ready to be stacked. You know what I mean? It's just one of those.
Otherwise, they wouldn't be atheists. There are a fair number of objections to the argument that I've covered in a previous episode that I'll link in the description below, so I won't go into detail here. However, there is one objection I have not covered before. In his paper, Divine Fine-Tuning versus Electrons in Love, Neil Sinababu reframes the fine-tuning argument and says that it's not life forms like you and I that motivate the fine-tuning argument, but the existence of conscious embodied agents, regardless of what they're made out of, whether they're fleshy creatures like us or some other kind of life form. He says that the probability of the universe having these kinds of conscious agents may not be that low, because if so-called psychophysical laws of the universe were different, then even universes that only have hydrogen atoms, because they have different constants in the laws of physics,
Monkey and the Typewriter. Sometime, given infinite possibilities and infinite time, everything is bound to happen. Like Monkey and the Typewriter, meaning like a monkey that has no idea how to work a typewriter will like print out a perfectly articulated novel, like a science fiction novel. Yeah.
Even if it only had hydrogen atoms, it might still have conscious agents if there were different psychophysical laws that govern how consciousness comes to be. He writes.
Oh, that's cool. Scott Eastwood is Clint Eastwood's son. Yeah, I could have figured with the last name. I didn't know that he had any kids, let alone kids who were also doing movies. That's cool.
Under more mind-friendly psychophysical laws, protons and electrons themselves could have minds like ours. These laws could dictate that these particles have sensory experiences of all the forces other particles exert on them, with the forces most strongly affecting them giving rise to the psychology of belief and then intentional action. Protons and electrons could yearn to be together, feeling delight at the presence of the other as their opposite charges drew them closer. When they formed a hydrogen atom, they could fall in love. Now, one response is to say that this is just impossible.
Interesting.
Just because you can form an image of something in your mind, that doesn't mean the image you form could really happen or that it's metaphysically possible. We can imagine going back in time and changing the past of our own timeline, but that creates impossible contradictions. Likewise, imagining conscious electrons in a universe without fine-tuned physical laws doesn't mean that this state of affairs could actually happen. Or it doesn't mean it would make our improbable existence no longer need an explanation beyond mere chance. Sinababu, however, claims that theists cannot say that electrons in love is metaphysically impossible, because they believe in non-physical minds like God, or we might also add to his argument, angels. He writes the following: theistic commitments to a non-physical God are incompatible with the view that even though psychophysical laws could have been somewhat different, love between subatomic particles is so bizarre as to be metaphysically impossible. But just because minds can exist apart from physical bodies, it doesn't follow that they can exist within any particular physical body. For example, light can travel apart from any physical medium, like in the vacuum of space. But that doesn't mean light can travel within any physical medium, because light can't travel through lead, for example, even though it can travel through other physical mediums, like water. And the same is true of the medium through which consciousness can exist. The fact that consciousness can exist without a physical body, like in the case of angels, or in some bodies, like human beings, doesn't mean consciousness could exist in any physical body.
Well, we don't have any, unless somebody in the chat can correct me, but I don't think we have any evidence of consciousness existing separate from a body. Like, he's making the assertion that it can exist in something like an angel, but we don't have evidence for angels outside of theistic claims. And what's coming to my mind is like the brain in a vat kind of thing. And if you put a brain in a vat or a test tube or something and hook it up with wires and needles, and you can, measure the brain activity and see whether or not there is actually conscious thought happening within that brain. But even still, in that scenario, the consciousness is inside the brain. So it's not even separate from any kind of physical structure. So I don't think we even have evidence of consciousness existing outside of physical form.
Besides, God and angels are conscious because of God's unique ability to sustain that state of affairs, not some natural psychophysical law. But for the sake of his argument, let's imagine that other universes with conscious electrons and love could exist. That does not change the fact that our universe, with its conscious, complex biological life, is still absurdly rare when you look at the laws of physics.
Yeah,
and thus it requires an explanation for why the constants are within a narrow range to allow for conscious biological life like ours.
And see, he's looking at it from the other end. It's not that it was made for conscious life, it's that it was made, and because it was made the way that it was, conscious life emerged from that. It's not like we were placed here because it's good for us. It's that it's good for us, and so we came out of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a backwards way of looking at it.
The philosopher John Leslie gives the following thought experiment to help understand this. Imagine there is a large blank white wall with a single fly buzzing in front of it. Surrounding this white wall is a larger red wall with many flies buzzing in front of it. Now imagine a bullet strikes the single fly in front of the white wall.
That's a damn good shot.
We can plausibly attribute this rare event to a marksman's design, and not just chance, even though the odds of any fly getting hit is high if we include the flies in front of the red wall. In this analogy, the red wall represents different psychophysical laws, where you have universes that can have electrons and love. And the flies in front of the red wall are those universes with the conscious electrons. The white area, however, represents our current psychophysical laws. And the single fly in front of that white wall represents our solitary universe, or the incredibly small number of universes that are life permitting, given the current laws of physics and psychophysical laws that we're aware of. So if we conclude that design is behind the single fly being shot in front of the white wall instead of just empty space being hit, we can conclude design is responsible for our universe existing instead of a lifeless one, regardless of possible other universes with different physical or psychophysical laws. Now, in response to this, Sinababu writes the following. It's plausible to attribute the striking of the fly to a marksman's aim because striking isolated targets is an intention that can plausibly be attributed to marksmen. That's the sort of thing marksmen like to do. But we have no reason to attribute an analogous intention to God. It's hard to see why God would...
That's what I was about to say. It's like, I don't think that does logically conclude. That's a leap of logic and an assertion.
Would need or want to create mind specifically in a universe where the psychophysical laws were mind unfriendly. There's no reason to think an omnipotent being would be constrained by psychophysical laws that lack metaphysical necessity, or that an omnibenevolent being would be dissatisfied with the prayers of devout neutrons who ask him to bless the happy protons and electrons around them.
I need to read this book. I like the way he's, I like his language. I like his language a lot, because yeah, we are just particles at the end of the day. We are atoms and molecules and protons and electrons.
In other words, Sinababu's point is that we can attribute design to the shot fly in front of the white wall because marksmen like to hit difficult targets. But we cannot attribute God's design to our particular universe because there's no reason to think God would prefer to create our universe with embodied biological life instead of one with a bunch of electrons and love. However, many people would disagree with that assumption. They'd see that it's better to have a world where love, real love, involves sacrifice, hardship, and free choice, all of which require self-locomotion, the ability to move and choose through biology. It's better to have that than a world with trillions of lovesick electrons that just aimlessly float around the universe and don't live morally meaningful lives. A world with higher quality of moral goods, in this case, like ours, is better than one with a higher quantity of extremely minimally valuable goods. And in a world with electrons and love, trillions of electrons would spend billions of years wandering and floating aimlessly through the universe, never finding another particle. So there's good reason to think God wouldn't make a universe like that. Even if God could make the lives of sentient electrons more meaningful by just having constant miracles happening, It would be better to have a world like ours with morally meaningful lives where God does not act like a divine puppeteer always intervening with miracles, but he instead allows his creatures to freely love each other in accord with the laws of nature he created.
I don't know. I think that's actually subjective. I think you can absolutely make an argument that it would be better if God played Puppet Master and just made everything perfect and good. Like, I'm team free will, right? Like, I'm all about free will and making our own choices. But if we're looking at this universe that supposedly was created by a deity, it owns this universe, it owns us. Why is it making us jump through so many hoops? Like, why not just make it perfect straight out the gate, you know?
Finally, as evidence that great minds think alike, the Christian apologist Eric Manning recently picked fine-tuning as a top-tier argument himself, and he made a nice video defending it that I'll link below. So that's my take on the power of the fine-tuning argument, and be sure to check out the links to other...
Yeah, I like Trent. I like Trent a lot. This guy's good. I just like the way he presents himself and the way he presents the arguments. It's like he's never disrespectful towards the other side. He's always just very matter of fact and presents the information as it comes. I'm a big fan of this guy. I like finding content creators that I disagree with, but I can still vibe with their content, you know? That's what makes it interesting. I don't like sitting here the whole time being like, yup, that's true, yup, basically turning into Asmongold, you know what I mean? There it is. Yup. No, good video. Good video. Good shit, Trent. Good shit, Trent. I saw this short. I wanna watch this real quick. See what this guy's saying.
Here's the fastest way to debunk atheism. Jesus said the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and
we're already appealing to the Bible, so I got a problem with that.
And the second greatest is to love your neighbor as yourself. Now, Jesus wouldn't have commanded us to love someone who doesn't exist, therefore atheism is false. This argument is perfectly valid and philosophically sound. It cannot be refuted by anybody. And if you want to learn more about this argument, then watch this video I have on YouTube. Here's the fastest way to debunk atheism. Jesus said the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and with all your mind. And the second greatest is to love your neighbor as...
Bible verses, debunking atheism. I love it. I love it. I need to read my Bible more, to be honest with you. Fox goes, bro, what? That's the stupidest argument ever. Yeah. Nah. Whenever I get a like this debunks atheism and it's an appeal to the Bible, like my first question is always like, why should I care what the Bible says? The answer to which is usually, oh, it's the divine word of God. And I'm just like, okay, well, how do you know it's the divine word of God? It's like, oh, well, it's in the Bible. It says so. It's like, oh. Okay. Yeah, good shit. Oh, damn, Warren Smith talking about Tim Pool. That one can get spicy. Oh, shit. Let's get into some politics, chat. Let's get into some politics. Here's Brad Palumbo.
Said over and over that only people who have something to hide silence others.
Like that probably means... Pause. There we go. I'll be clicking the shit out of this video. Okay, so this video is Candace Owens is censoring her critics now by Brad Palumbo. I'm a big fan of Brad. His show, Brad Takes on Everybody or Everything or something like that. Oh, yeah, Brad versus Everyone. There it is.
Candace Owens has said...
Oh, if you don't know who Brad Palumbo is, he's like a centrist kind of guy. I don't know. He's got some left-wing points of view. He's got some right-wing points of view. He's just right up my alley. You know what I mean?
Over and over that only people...
The libservative before the libservative.
Like that probably means that you're not a good person or you're not a good company if the truth is a threat to you.
Well, today I woke up and found that Candace Owens had silenced me.
Okay, guys, up next, we're going to talk again about Candace Owens, the right-wing YouTube podcast superstar. Whatever you think of her, you cannot deny the numbers and chart-topping stats.
I feel like the video is really loud.
Is currently pulling, and I really...
I haven't been keeping up with Candace Owens, but I know she was talking a lot about Charlie Kirk's assassination and how there was some like conspiratorial stuff surrounding that. I haven't been paying any attention to it, so hopefully he goes into it here.
I wasn't planning on talking about Candace again so soon. I criticized her last week.
Thank you, Quentin. I'm glad you won't ever desert me.
Where she very explicitly accused the Trump administration of murdering Charlie Kirk.
Okay, I figured.
An outlandish claim with no evidence behind it, and
I figured that's what this was about.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
True.
And while I can have compassion for her grieving the loss of her dear friend Charlie Kirk, I think the way she's using her platform is reckless. Now, here's the update that we have to talk about. The clips that I showed you last week were from her book club, which is kind of a paywalled, members only, long, lengthy video that she does. An account that criticizes Candace Owens took a couple of brief snippets from that paywalled live stream and posted them on X with criticism and commentary. To me, that's classic fair use. Which
sounds
is
like fair use to me.
An exception to copyright law that applies even to paywalled content for criticism and for newsworthy value.
Right.
Same way that I read articles on the show that are paywalled.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll react to clips from a show that is pay-per-view, or you can even react to a movie scene or other things.
Right,
and
that's a good
that is
comparison.
fair use, even though that is content that you have to pay to see in full, and you couldn't just repost the entire thing with no comment added. You'd be violating their copyright law. Well, now Candace Owens, free speech crusader, who always says if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide, then she's suddenly discovering copyright law and using it to take down and file takedown requests against the one particular Twitter account, Milk Bar TV, that's highlighted these clips against her with her own words.
Mhm.
And now she's weaponizing copyright law, and in what I think is an incorrect use of it. Let's
I can understand being taken out of context and having a problem with that, 100%.
watch Milk Bar's video explaining what's happening, and then I'll give you some more of my thoughts.
Candace Owens has said over and over that only people who have something to hide silence others.
Like that probably means that you're not a good person or you're not a good company if the truth is a threat to you.
Well, today I woke up and found that Candace Owens had silenced me. So what happened was last week, after being told repeatedly over and over again by people that she's even more unhinged in her private book club, I decided that I'd check it out. So I went to the recent one, subscribed, and found that this was absolutely true.
Nothing in Charlie's life was real. I don't know, there's just something really sick and demonic about the entire thing.
By the way, we should just pause on that. I didn't mention that, but she appeared to suggest Charlie's life was all fake. Presumably that would apply to his wife? I don't know. I mean, it really is true that these live streams she has behind this paywall are even more wild than her normal public commentary. And that adds to the defense of why it is newsworthy to share snippets of this. Because whether you like Candace or not, she's a massively influential figure. She's saying important and relevant things. And this is a very clear exception to copyright law. But she is now weaponizing that to silence this guy, who, to be fair, is her hater and her critic, but he has every right to. And that includes, he couldn't just, I want to be clear, like, it's not like copyright law doesn't exist. He couldn't just take her private videos that are paywalled, upload them in full with no added commentary, and then let people watch them there instead of her paywall.
Yeah.
But that is not what's happening here. He took brief snippets and commented on them. That is the definition of fair use.
It's why I keep pausing and putting my own commentary on top of it, because I can't just play the video and you know, reap any kind of financial gain from that. That is literally a violation of copyright law. Yeah.
That all creators, including Candace Owens,
And
every
me.
time she plays a clip of somebody and talks about it that is copyrighted, use and rely on. And she is abusing the copyright system to try to take down one of her critics in a really nefarious way here. In a way that doesn't even make sense, as he will explain as well, because this guy helps her when he
Dynasty
highlights her
Warriors
book
stream
club,
when?
she gets more
No clue, bro.
subscribers to them, not less. So he's not even real.
I'm kind of over gaming. I'll be real with you. It's one of the reasons I didn't want to stream on the main channel today, is because I was going to do Ewok Hunt on Battlefront, And I was also going to play the new Zombies mode that they dropped in Marvel Rivals, just because it's perfect for Halloween, you know? Spooky. But I'm just not feeling gaming. It's so weird, man. It's a weird feeling being... Excuse me. It's a weird feeling being a gaming creator and not wanting to game. It's really, really weird. It's giving me kind of like severe whiplash because I'm just like, what the fuck am I supposed to do right now? So that's why we're talking about politics and religion, because I can actually talk about this stuff. I'm actually engaged with this stuff. So that's what we're doing.
Really infringing her financial gain at all in terms of the paywall.
And she went on to, you know, I think, accuse the Trump administration.
If YouTube asks, tell them I'll be gone for about 30 seconds. I have to tinkle. Really fucking bad, chat. I'm going to go drain the main vein. I'm going to let this play with an empty chair, but I'll be right back, YouTube. I'll be right back, goddammit.
For the fact that he gave so much of his life to Trump and to politics, and they just were like, nope, that is it. It serves us or it doesn't serve us, and we want to move on. And so here's a holiday. Bro, if they try to give me a holiday, what is with them giving people a holiday after they kill them?
She also went on to say that she didn't believe that Elon Musk and other AI tech billionaires were human, that they were hybrids, and that if she stabbed them, they wouldn't bleed.
It's something in the eyes. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I know I'm human, but I don't know if I stabbed you if you bleed.
Now, I believe in copyright. I think copyright is important. But at the same time, I think that these moments were newsworthy. Now, I believe I followed fair use by adding commentary. They were covered on some of the biggest podcasts and in mainstream media.
The Fed signature. It's when they sign off after they murder you.
The federal government, the Trump administration killed Charlie Kirk is the claim.
She absolutely suggests Trump let it happen.
Accusation against Donald Trump and his administration.
I don't even think these people are human. Like, I look at Elon Musk and Sam...
Now, Candace Owens responded by
before anybody asks,
saying that I was accurate.
Before anybody asks, yes, I did wash my hands. I licked them clean.
With what I said that she had said, then plugged her book club. She went
Sounds like I'm turning communist? Fuck no, bro. No. What gives you that idea? The whole fair use conversation? Couldn't be further from the truth.
Thank the people that had shared my clip. She
Capitalism,
also said
baby!
that because of those clips being shared, that she had this massive boost, the largest sign-ups to date for her book club.
So this is the point, that if her argument for why she's justified in...
I'm now the Red Star. That makes me think of the Red Guardian. I've only watched half of Thunderbolts. I fell asleep watching it one night, and I just haven't finished it, but yeah. Red Guardian's cool. Dude's funny.
Filing copyright strikes and getting this guy locked out of his X account is that, oh, well, he's infringing on my copyright and hurting my business. That is literally untrue. One, because what he did is protected, but also because she, by publicizing these clips, she says, unless she's lying, that he helped her get more people to sign up for the paywall and become paid members to access her book club rants. So she should be thanking this dude. She should be sending him a fruit basket.
Wait, my opinion on gaming sounds communist to you? What, the fact that gaming doesn't get me off anymore, so I don't like doing it? How is that communist? I'd say it's very capitalist because it's determining where my time, money, and attention goes. That's what capitalism is all about. Private property and competition, baby. Entertainment mediums are competing for my time and attention and money, and I'm choosing to give my attention to politics and religion right now because that's what I'm interested in. Gaming just don't do it for me anymore, man. It don't get me off.
Not weaponizing the copyright system to try to get him deleted from X, which is what she did. And again, for a woman who constantly says,
weed right now.
and I've been very critical of Candace. I have encouraged people to stop watching her, but I've never said that YouTube should censor her. I've never said that X should delete her, anything like that. I've never filed any sort of claim to try to get her taken down, and I wouldn't, but she always says this.
Gaming used to get me off, Fox. I don't know what happened. It's just not doing it for me anymore. I gotta spice it up. Gotta spice it up a little bit.
So that when they're trying to silence you, that means you're over the target, or that means you're onto something. And here she is, literally trying to silence a critic by her own logic. That means he's onto something. That means his criticisms have a point. But all...
What do you think I was doing on the Star Bazaar streams the whole time? It's why you can't see my hands.
he did was post real clips of her saying what she thinks. Like, that's the craziest part. His criticism is just, look what she said. Isn't that crazy? It's like, I don't get it, man. Why is she doing this? If she acknowledges these clips are real, she doubles down. Yes, that is what I said and I believe it. And it's only helping her business. It just looks like a vindictive and petty act to try to target and retaliate against somebody who's criticized her. There's no other explanation for that.
There was something close to this that happened years and years ago on YouTube where, what was it? It was like false... Was it false flagging? Like, I know like a whole false flag operation in terms of like governments and politics and stuff, but there was a feature on YouTube way back when where you could flag a video if it was inappropriate or if it like incited violence or something like that. And there was this whole scandal about YouTubers. There's one in particular that comes to my mind, Matt Jarbo. His channel is $3 Theater, one of several, but there was at one point in time where anybody who criticized him on any video, he would go in and flag it. And it was just deeply frowned upon within the YouTube community, because that's just not something that you do. If somebody were to criticize the things that I make on the Star Bazaar, it's not a good look for me to go in and flag those videos just because somebody is saying something that I don't like about me. It's like the appropriate response to that would be to make a response video and be like, look, somebody's saying all this bullshit. It's not true. Here are the facts. That would be the appropriate response. But what other YouTubers were doing would be flagging those videos and trying to get YouTube to take them down or censor them, which hurts people's livelihoods. People make money off of these videos. And that's why the appropriate response is to make a response video so that that content creator can make their buck. I can make my buck by making a response to it. And we just feed the ecosystem, right? But it's very much frowned upon to try to censor other content creators. And that's basically what Candace is doing here.
Club. So publicly, she was pretty much thanking me, saying that she had...
I just kind of threw Matt under the bus, but I mean, this was public knowledge. It's not like I'm saying anything new.
And she submitted these copyright...
I'm just opening up old wounds.
...strikes to get them taken down.
And that you're actually trying to silence people who have valid questions or criticisms or concerns.
Yeah, straight up, Fox, nah, flagging shit because they're disagreeing with you is like a baby whining when their little brother gets iPad time. It really is. It's like, it's just a childish, petty response to criticism. And yeah, getting criticized doesn't feel good, but there is a good way to handle it and a bad way to handle it. And flagging videos is definitely the bad way.
I see that it only appears to be me that actually copped these copyright strikes, despite other people.
This is a good point as well. Milk Bar is not the only one who clipped these and who clipped this and posted it.
Oh yeah, Quentin, we can actually watch some videos about that. Yeah, Fox, you already said it. Emaru got assaulted at a TwitchCon, and Hassan is, in some hot water for shocking his dog with that shot collar. So yeah, we can definitely watch some of that. There was actually an Asmongold video on my feed talking about the Hassan thing. We'll watch that next.
But as far as I have seen, he's the only one that's been hit with these copyright requests that Candace's one of her staff members directly filed to X, and he showed the email because you actually get to see it.
We're going to turn into React stream. Star going to dig into the Twitch drama. I'll dig into some of the Twitch drama because I am interested in it. Just, from a content creator's perspective, I like looking at that stuff. But I mean, that's what YouTube is now. It's just reaction to reactions to reactions. Reactception. You're not YouTubing if you're not reacting at this point. What is original content?
Anyway, so they're just, from what I've seen at least, just filing them against him. So if it was really about, oh, he's violating my paywall, blah, 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 should be doing it to all the creators.
Yeah, that's still assault. That was unwanted touching. There are varying degrees of assault. You know what I mean? It's not like she was, graped or anything like that, but it's still assault.
It kind of seems like she's just weaponizing this.
It was unwanted physical,
which again, not very
interaction.
I think fair or honest.
Also uploading the same content.
Also, by the way, I would say it's considered assault because regardless of what ended up happening, like it could have been way worse. Security was AWOL, and the fact. After listening to Emaru's statement about it, because she made a 40-minute video just talking about everything and how there was no security and how this guy was allowed to basically cross over another person's meet and greet because there were like the content creators were kind of lined up and having their own meet and greets with separate lines. This guy allegedly walked across the meet and greets of like 2 other creators just to get to her and just, put his hands on her, tried to kiss her, and that's unacceptable. You cannot do that. That's completely unacceptable. And shame on Twitch for trying to bury it. Shame on Twitch for not having security. It's not a good look.
From a book club, including other posts that I saw were uploaded even before mine. And with a Nick Fuentes interview she put behind a paywall, she said it's beyond crappy to just straight pirate someone's entire 2+ hours of content that they created, but pulling clips is fine.
So let me explain this. He is pointing this out as a past hypocrisy. She put her interview with Nick Fuentes behind a paywall, which is her right as a content creator. But a number of people just ripped the whole thing and uploaded it for free on X for everyone to watch. So then people watch it there and she doesn't get the monetization for her content.
Right.
That, I agree, is beyond crappy. That is just violating someone's copyright.
100%.
But what she said was that it's fine for people to pull clips from that long paywalled live stream and post those clips. However, now she is saying that, that guy pulled clips, because again, it's not like Milk Bar posted the full hour-long thing. He just posted a couple brief snippets. Well, I'm filing requests that will literally get his Twitter account deleted if they're successful, multiple of them. And he doesn't take down the content. So she got him locked out of his X account, but there's no consistency here whatsoever.
All she had to do was push him away. I mean, I guess, but that guy is significantly bigger than her. Emaru is a small girl. It's a little bit more than that, because what if she tried to push him away and he started getting more aggressive and tried to push up against her in response? It's like, he should not do that. The dude is entirely in the wrong, and Twitch was in the wrong for not having security on standby. There was footage of that guy walking out of the convention unescorted, like bro's just walking out, and didn't get apprehended. Nothing happened to him until after the fact. Even I still don't know if the guy caught any kind of punishment. I know he was banned from Twitch, watching Twitch streams for 30 days or something, which is hilarious because this didn't even happen on stream. This was an in-person live interaction. It's like so the guy sexually assaults somebody and then has, zero punishment except, you can't watch Twitch for 30 days. Oh no.
She's doing the exact kind of thing she's complained about in the past, and that she says she's attacking someone for doing exactly what she has said is fine to do with her content in the past.
As many are doing. So, funny, it appears to be only me that Candace Owens is coming for with copyright strikes.
And obviously I'm kind of constantly going through a public x-ray of my life, people examining. I'm never fearful.
As Candace Owens and her Simps love to say, you're over the target when they're coming to attack you and to silence you. So, hey, I guess I'm over the target.
I guess so. That's her logic, right? That if they're trying to silence you, you must be onto something. I've always found that a bit silly, because they might be telling you to shut up because you're saying something stupid, but...
Maybe it can go both ways. It can definitely go both ways. I guess it depends on who's trying to silence you. You think about what you're saying and whose narrative that it inconveniences, you know what I mean? But anyway, good video from Brad. I should have opened this in another tab. God damn it. I'm about to go back to the homepage and my feed's gonna have been refreshed. No bueno. No bueno. Where's that Asm? Okay, good. The Asman video is still here. This is the one I wanted to watch.
Apparently, JD Vance is talking about Hassan.
He has
no shot.
Place, which is basically.
Oh no!
I snap my finger and point. He will run to that place and lay down.
This is real, right? I mean, it's not AI or anything. Oh, I'm not. Okay, so there's another one here. It seems like this is actually real.
To zap him.
No.
Hassan.
Not like Hassan Piker. No
disgusting?
electrocution of dogs here. If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. It's like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Yeah.
Like every serial killer ever has actually been really bad to animals. That's sort of how they started.
He just goes all the way. Oh no, he did not like this, bro. He did not.
I bet he didn't.
Bro, he did not like it.
He will run to that place
Wow.
and lay down.
You don't have to zap.
You don't have to zap him. Did she just say that?
You don't have to zap him.
No.
Hassan.
Not like Hassan Piker.
I should have got a wig and blacked out one of my teeth and gone as Asmongold for Halloween. That would have been a great costume.
No,
Wasn't that
no
disgusting?
electrocution of dogs here.
How disgusting is
It's
that?
very
What does that tell
disgusting.
you about a person?
Well, I think it tells you that they're not that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering
He's so mad. Oh God.
to an innocent animal, you're probably the kind of person who doesn't worry about suffering in people as well.
Yeah.
And that's been my experience. If you
Christ.
JD Vance has done spot training for his own dog, so he knows that it is not an abusive practice. And yet,
It's not what he said. That's nothing to do with what he said. How do you have a degree in political science and communications and you don't even understand what he said? It had nothing to do with place training. It had everything to do with how the training was administered.
he is still leaning into this fucking idea that I'm like abusing my dog, which is crazy.
He is.
Because, hello, Kristi Noem, the secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, shot her puppy. What is happening? The vice president of the United States is talking about Reddit, Twitter drama.
Because it's funny.
Fucking God, I hate the left. I hate liberalism. I hate everything that's going on every single day of the goddamn week. I hate my life. I hate streaming. I hate socialism. I hate every single person who thinks that the peak of activism is being the most annoying holier thou.
Dude, that Hassan drama is so funny. I'm sad for the dog. The dog is getting the worst of it for sure. And I'm glad that it's under public scrutiny and people are actually paying attention to it. I've never been a fan of Hassan Piker, but that just kind of was the last nail in the coffin where I'm just like, yeah, this dude sucks. We'll probably watch this shoe on head video here next. But clearly saying it needs a different label. Still wrong, but not the same as something else. And that's why I said there's varying degrees of assault. Like, it's still assault per the textbook definition. It's just there's varying degrees of it. And there's different types of assault too. You know what I mean? There's physical assault, there's emotional assault, mental assault, sexual assault. Like there's varying degrees of it. And yeah, that was textbook assault. Dude invaded her personal space, put his hands on her, tried to be intimate, and that's not okay. You can't do that. And the worst part about it is he caught no repercussions for it. It's insane. Now other people can see that and maybe try to do it themselves, and yeah, it's no good. Twitch is falling apart, man. Twitch is absolutely falling apart. I keep asking myself, is it worth it to stream on Twitch too? And then I see how they don't apply their terms of service equally across the board. Some content creators can get away with the most abhorrent shit. When another content creator does it, they get permabanned. The advertising is really, really bad on Twitch. It's just, yeah, Twitch ain't in a good spot right now. I think I'll stick with YouTube. Which is funny because I noticed that I still get some followers on Twitch. But let's watch.
Hello again, friends, and
let's watch
happy
Shu.
Halloween. This Halloween, I've
It is
decided
Halloween.
to dress up as the scariest possible thing to my audience: a woman.
Oh no!
As the OG YouTube pick-me, I have made many videos dunking on bad female behavior, ranging from terrible things like the creepy female teacher epidemic, to more silly things like women posting their L's in my Are Women Okay video. The video where I read embarrassing stories women willingly put on the internet about themselves. And that video has sort of
Oh, I missed
become
that
a
one.
fan favorite.
Fuck, I missed that one. Maybe we should watch that one first for context, because I think that was the last video she uploaded. I've been out of the YouTube loop for a little bit. I haven't been watching the content I normally do. Maybe we should watch that. Is there a link to it? Nah. Hold on. I'm actually going to watch that one first. Oh, wait, maybe it wasn't that one. Because this is the one that I missed. Female gooners must be stopped. Okay, just based on that title alone, I'm watching it.
Oh, I didn't see you there.
Uh-huh.
What am I reading, you ask? Well, just one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now. With millions of sales and almost 20,000 5-star reviews, this book has been absolutely blowing up, especially on TikTok, or BookTok, as the kids call it. Thousands and thousands of women, in particular, have been raving about this piece of literature. What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Farm, of course. A popular romance novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman does
Milking
when facing
farm.
financial struggle. She starts an OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
That's right, the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I have been reading Morning Glory Milking Farm since last night, and I'm obsessed.
This was a good time. It did not disappoint.
If this book is trash, then I am a f***ing raccoon. Give me all of the garbage.
Get your eyeballs on this, because it is so good.
Interesting.
I regret to inform you that there is a new epidemic. An epidemic that many have yet to discuss. And that epidemic is female gooners.
This isn't new. This isn't new. It's new because it's in the public. It's in the attention of the public right now. But this ain't new. If you walk to any grocery store, thrift store, and they've got a section of books, and they got those sultry romance novels that you see in there. All those books are like that. This ain't new. We're just talking about it right now. Smut. Yeah.
Now, for those of you unaware, gooner is internet slang for someone addicted to porn, and smut
Aggressively
is
jacking
slang
off.
for dark romance novels, otherwise known as porn. Many correct about the dangers of porn addiction with men, how it can destroy their lives and their relationships, and most men know the material they consume is weird. That is why they are ashamed of it. That is why they delete their browsing history. That is why they go
Fox.
incognito mode. But these bitches freaks.
Kind of a double standard, I guess, right? No, I mean, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I'm into sexy and attractive characters in video games, and people can read and consume whatever media and material that they want to read. Whatever gets you off, man. Like I said, games don't get me off anymore, so I'm not really playing games.
Out here, they display
We're watching
their smut openly in
controversial
bookstores.
videos
they
instead.
They proudly pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss their smut openly on TikTok. They go to smut conventions and get choked out by 9-foot-tall shirtless wendigos. Now, I
Cool.
know what you are thinking. Shoo, isn't this the pot calling the kettle degenerate? Yes. Yes, it is. But have you considered it takes one to truly know one? You see, women are
Absolutely.
strange, fascinating creatures. For centuries, men have tried to figure us out. Our mood is affected by the tides and the moon. We bleed for 5 days and don't die. By painting my face, I can instantly shapeshift from a 4 to a 6. We are truly mysterious, magical creatures. But one of
Yes.
the most mysterious aspects of women to men is our sexuality. You see, us women are not like those disgusting moids. No, we are sophisticated. We are
You got it,
evolved.
Fox. Exactly.
We don't watch videos of strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. No, we read about strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together.
Right.
It's different, okay?
Yeah.
You don't understand. It's okay when we do it. So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the rapidly growing popularity of dark romance on TikTok and the
That is actually a fascinating point that she brings up, and I have proof of it, where women typically are more attracted to the stuff that gets the imagination going, where it's not explicitly in front of their eyes, but rather it's either described like either through written word or audibly explained to them, and then that way their imagination gets to work and they can really paint a vivid picture of what they want, right? And like that's typically, I'm not saying it's a one size fits all kind of thing, but that's typically what gets women going, whereas dudes, we like the visual like in front of us. Like if we see it, that's what we want, right? So and I was schmoozing my girlfriend last night. I was writing her just like a really short. I'm not going to get into details, but I can attest to this, that anything that gets the imagination going is typically what women are into. And that's, I think, why those books and novels are more appealing to women, is because it does that. It gets the gears turning, and then they can really visualize it in their mind's eye. Dudes, we're a lot more simple. Like, we just open up a porn magazine or open up a porn site, be like, yep, that's what I'm jerking off to.
recent dark romance convention that ended in disaster. Let's take a break from all this depressing political news and talk about something silly. Not that those political things aren't important, trust me, they are. You should be keeping up with politics and the news when you can. I know.
But it makes me so mad.
But fear not. I have an app for that.
Ground news. It makes me so fucking mad, dude. I need to stay away from politics. I was thinking about this government shutdown yesterday, and I was telling my girlfriend about it. I'm like, fuck. I spent 15 minutes thinking about how stupid our government officials are and how they're getting paid and how the government is shut down and people are losing benefits. And it's infuriating. I hate our government so fucking much. I really, really do. I need to stay away from politics. And here I am streaming on my politics channel. Yeah, it's fucking infuriating, guys.
Get into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to our sponsor, Ground News.
Good old Ground News.
Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers an easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have...
Yeah, smut books are definitely the best. Pics are nothing compared to an awesome writing because it can be something completely unrealistic and absurd, which, yeah, can get someone going. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Been covered by one side of the political aisle and ignored by the other. For example, here's a story about how Gavin Newsom is signing a bill to give 800,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California the right to unionize. Pretty cool. Rare Newsom W.
Right.
12 news sources covered this, 7 were left-wing and 0 were right-wing, because the right is covering a far more important topic. Harvard hires drag performer Lahore Vagistan as a visiting professor. 21 news sources covered this, 20 were right-wing, 1 was left-wing. A country
Lahore
divided,
Vagistan.
Ground News also makes it very
Great
easy
name.
to compare headlines, so you can see how political bias completely reframes a story. For example, talking about how Trump has been posting a bunch of those sombrero memes, and the New York Post says, White House official behind Trump's hilarious meme war on Dems revealed. And then a left-wing outlet covers the same story like, as the shutdown continues, a checked-out Trump posts childish memes. Wildly different vibes going on here. I've been using Ground News since 2021.
I went into Planned Parenthood the other day to get tested, and they took my blood, and they put a Band-Aid over my arm where they fucking poked me. And that glue from the Band-Aid is still on my fucking arm. I don't know what Band-Aids they're using. They're fucking industrial strength, though, dude. It's fucking insane.
It is one of my favorite apps. Like, it is my go-to, like, when I wake up.
I'm clean, by the way. The peen is clean.
Check Twitter, and then I check Ground News, like, immediately. But don't just take my word.
Sorry if that's
Even
TMI.
The Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent
This is the
way to
channel where we
stay
talk about
informed,
whatever.
avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. And it's only $5 a month, which is like basically the price of a coffee nowadays. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code here on screen or use the link in the video description. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right? So let's get back to the
I'm not trying to get stabbed.
Book Talk is a very interesting place, and any book fans out there know how it has absolutely destroyed the hobby of literature and just flooded it with absolute slop. Spicy slop. You see, books on TikTok are not rated by how well they are written or how good the characters are. No, they are rated by the spice. And what does spice mean? Porn. It means porn. Spice level is very important to book talkers. How much spice does a book have? What are the spiciest books they have ever read? How spicy is the book they're currently reading? Spice, spice, spice. The spiciest book going viral on Book Talk lately is none other than Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta. Violet is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt. Oh my god! She's just like me! On the verge of moving into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in the...
Whoever gave me that tip for the chat filter to turn on all messages, I don't think they're in the chat, but they're a living legend because I swear to God, Quentin, like YouTube hides half of your chats. And I think that's why I miss a lot of things. Because I was looking at the chat and it was all Fox, but she was replying to you. And so now, okay, I'm seeing your messages now. Yeah, you're just saying call it advance or misconduct. Assault is degrading to more horrifying incidents. And I saw what you brought up earlier about that one case. I think it happened in Europe where there was the immigrant who assaulted that one girl, and they didn't deport him because it was like it wasn't considered enough for something like that, right? Or like it didn't last long enough or something like that. And yeah, like that's fucking crazy. So yeah, bullshit happens all the time. I would still call it assault, but that's just because I view assault, it's like it's on a spectrum, you know. It's like there's very light assault, there's very heavy assault, and then there's some middle ground between for varying intensities, I guess. I would call it assault still. Very light assault, like obviously it's not on par with what happened to that the girl over in Europe, but I would still label it assault.
Neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab it with both hands. Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed.
The citrus
There's
scale?
only one catch. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef. Oh God, with the
Wait. Morning Glory Milking Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef with the manly, meaty endowments to match. Milking minotaurs isn't something Violet ever considered as a career option, but she's determined to turn the opportunity into a reversal of fortune. Hey, you know what? Whatever gets you off, dude.
manly,
Whatever gets you off.
endowments to... Okay.
Morning Glory Milking Farm is actually a profound critique of late-stage capitalism and toxic masculinity. In this text, we see that the tingling sensation in her coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
This is every fucking BreadTube video to me, dude. This is every Jack Saint video.
Nah, she's just horny.
I actually read the book myself, and I'm not gonna lie. The
Oh,
19th
no.
Amendment needs to be abolished. So, like I said, the story is basically this
Isn't that the
millennial
one that
named
allows
Violet,
women to
and she
vote?
gets a job basically working at Big Pharma in Narnia, where they harvest minotaur milk to make Viagra for human males. And I read the whole thing. Probably
bet
gonna
you
be
did.
put on some kind of watch list. But listen, this is my job, okay?
Uh-huh.
I'm not out here like selling feet pics or something. What I do is far more dignified and normal. Now let's take a look at some of these notes I wrote. Let's see.
Yeah.
Big dick and balls. At
Yeah.
one point she says the term, and I quote, the seam of his sack. So I'm reading this and the whole time I'm thinking like, okay, he probably has like a human head, right? He probably like looks something like this, like, you know.
The seam on the sack, it's like tectonic plates. You know how the earth has tectonic plates and like they're constantly moving and brushing up against each other, and that's what causes earthquakes, right? Is like when the tectonic plates, and it is also what causes the formation of mountain ranges and volcanoes and shit, is those plates bumping up against each other. The sack, it's gonna go inside, and the scrotum just eventually eats itself as the tectonic plates move, right? So that's what the seam on the sack is.
Just a dude with like horns. Then I see the official artwork. That's a cow. Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow. In a few
Yeah.
parts they're being intimate and it will
What
be
up,
like,
Marshall?
His hooves clip-clopped. My hooves will tear up your sheets. And it's like, I'm sorry, his what? At one point, she describes kissing him. And I swear to God, it was more disgusting than anything else described in this book. She's like describing how big and wide his mouth is and how big and like slimy his tongue is. She's like describing this shit and you're just like, that's a cow. I mean, we are at a solid 5.5 on the Barbeau scale here. This is dangerous territory, folks. She also...
It's still humanoid. It's bipedal. It's a bipedal creature. And it's got fur. I've got fur. I don't know. I think it's actually more of a 3. I wouldn't put that at a 4. That's more of a 3.
His ass.
It's more of a furry kind of situation, right? Where like a furry is a person taking on animal traits. This is an animal taking on human traits. Call it a 3.5.
She the cow's ass. By the way, if you want an
Nice.
uncensored version of this video and all my videos, Patreon. Go to Patreon, become a member. All members get the uncensored version of every video, so you can hear me talking about s**ing and f***ing and f***ing a cow's asshole. Is that what you think you want? Anyway, I like how in this fantasy world, student loans still exist. Like, we can imagine a world with minotaurs and humans in a relationship, but we can't imagine a world without student loans.
Yeah.
Sad. Oh, and he has one of those bull rings, like the nose ring theory septum rings. And in this world, that means, like, you're married, but apparently he's divorced. The man is divorced. This is a divorced cow with a cow ex-wife. The lore is deep, folks. The funniest part, though, has
I'm
to
invested.
be when
I'm actually invested. I might pick this book up and read it myself now.
they go on a date. I need to just read this to you. When the bill arrived, she attempted to pull a handful of carefully folded bills from her wristlet before he stopped her. No, that's absolutely not happening. Put that away. She'd not thought about it until the day after their first.
Wait, you've already seen that scale, Fox? That's the first time I've seen that. I had no idea what that was. I mean, I can assume, like, going up from various degrees of, like, intensity. I still call it a 3.5, not quite a 4. And no worries, Marshall. I looked at your rank. I thought you were in platinum, bro. You're in silver. We're, like, 3 ranks separate. I'm gonna have to, like, I could probably make... Oh, no, I have my alt account. I can grind on my alt account and probably get to where you're at, and then that way we can play a rank together. It wouldn't be on my main, but we could still do it that way, yeah. And no worries that you can't grind this weekend. You'll be at your dad's. We can play next week. That's fine. That'll give me some time to get some ranks on that alt account, too, and then I can catch up to you, hopefully.
First dinner together, realizing that in mortification that she ought to have attempted to pay her half. What kind of feminist are you? She asked herself. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been out and hadn't paid for her half, including her coffee date with Carson Tinsley. She had come prepared that night, several weeks of her tips smoothed and tucked into her wristlet. But I didn't even offer.
Your sphere of content is unique, even more unique in the past. Yeah, you know, our tastes change and become more mature over time. I'm not judging. This is a judgment-free zone.
To pay half the other night and shouldn't have. Violet, if the commanding rumble of his voice hadn't silenced her. The heat of his hand dropping to her knee would've. I don't want you to feel that you don't have any agency here. I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards. Your comfort is the only thing that counts right now. And if I overstep, I want you to know you can tell me so. But that's not happening. Don't think I'm unaware we're at different points in our careers. You can say no, you can say you don't want to see me again, you can tell me to stop coming to the farm when you're working. It's dinner, not a down payment of your time, but I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. She was a good feminist, she told herself, and she definitely couldn't be bought. But if he had suggested at that moment that he would have appreciated a blowjob, she would have fallen face first on his cock with an open mouth without a shred of hesitation. Inside every woman, there are 2 wolves. Or 2 bulls. The strong, independent girl boss and the submissive, doting housewife. And in the presence of a masculine man, or a farm animal, she will fold like a lawn chair and instantly return to factory settings.
It's dinner, not a down payment for your time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone, so when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. I said, okay, I highlighted that paragraph for myself.
Clean up aisle 5. So that's what I thought of it.
The waterworks begin.
What are the reviews on this book? This book has a 4.1 on Amazon with 21,000 ratings and a 3.6 on Goodreads with nearly 60,000 ratings. Let's just read some random ones here. Hear me out. Hear me out. Milking good time. Sweet and creamy. The spice is spicing. I was very leery of starting this because I thought it was just going to be porn. The plot is pretty good. The plot? Please. This is like the new, I read Playboy for the articles. Like, sure you do. This book could kill a Victorian child. 5 stars. I'll never look.
This book is so vanilla compared to what you've seen, I bet. Yeah.
Got a jug of milk.
No,
to
I
save.
bet there's
think
some
I'm lactose
wild shit
intolerant
out there.
So that happened. Our eyes will never see the gates of heaven. 1 star, not a helpful guide. This book failed to teach me how to milk a cow, and now my family has no food for the winter. 1 star, accidentally ordered while on pain medication after an operation. Gave this to my mom as a joke gift for Christmas. You what? Lesai.
Yeah.
Why can't human males be more like this? Tall, rich, and handsome are no longer enough, boys. Now you have to be a 9-foot-tall creature from Greek mythology with a 13-inch dick. I never want to hear from another person about how they read 100 books in a year if this is the kind of slop they are consuming. Well, Ronald, man detected, this isn't for you. This is for women. So take your ass back to Barely Legal Babysitter 5 or whatever the f you watch that is so morally superior than this. Let him who is without sin cast the first stone, okay? God bless
That's what I'm saying.
America. It's great.
That's what I'm saying. This is a judgment-free zone. If you want to consume this, that's on you. I'm not going to look at you some type of way. And as Fox so vehemently pointed out, there is way worse shit out there. Apparently. I wouldn't know.
To live in a country where I can casually enjoy cozy erotica about a young
Not
woman
me.
who milks her way to financial security and true love with a minotaur. This is what freedom looks like, and I intend to fully enjoy it before the Supreme Court takes this right away next. If this is what freedom looks like, I'm really rethinking my stance on freedom, not gonna lie. Maybe we should have less of it. All I know is if Donald Trump takes the monster porn, we are going to make 2020 look like a picnic.
Yeah. No, if Donald Trump takes away monster porn, there will be riots in the street. I'll join them.
Okay? Bull cock matters. Oh my God. Edit that out. Editor.
Nah.
Edit that out. Women are gonna be picking up Animal Farm now, like, where's the horse cock? Some of you people owe a certain streamer an apology because this book has way too many 5 stars. Some of you are lying. So after buying this book, Amazon has given me a few interesting recommendations. Would you like to see them? I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. That time I got drunk and saved a demon. Gentling the beast. Cupcakes for my orc enemy. Main of my existence. The gargoyle and the spinster. The widow and the orcs. Hoarded by the dragon. There's something about dragons. Getting it on with gargoyle.
There's that whole company, Bad Dragon, you know what I'm saying?
Gotten by the gator. Mated to the mountain bear. Oh, so this is why they chose the bear. The billionaire orc. Moth manager. Wolves and whipped cream. The wolf in my tavern. Pounded by produce. Oh, what? Are these the books the Nazis burned?
My husband only reads finance, and
Those are the
I buy
books the
so I think
Nazis
it's about
wrote.
time that I introduce him to some real literature. So the first book that I would like to introduce you to is called Morning Glory Milking Farm, and it's not a normal milking farm like with cows. What it is it's big, bulky minotaurs, and it's a special type of milking.
See, honey, she's his stepsister, and she got stuck in the washing machine. Women on TikTok are openly, proudly talking about the porn they consume and getting mad at people when they make fun of it. I hereby ban men from reacting to romantasy on TikTok. Best-selling romantasy books like A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Fourth Wing contain descriptions of hot sex. I feel like that's common knowledge, if not their primary purposes. But in recent months, book talk has become full of men clutching their pearls while reacting to steamy scenes from these popular female-centered books. Obviously, this is all a massive performance. We live in the age of OnlyFans. The odds are that these men have seen actual porn that defies the laws of physics and God. Over 90-
Hentai exists. I mean, I can end of conversation right there. Hentai exists. Boom.
80% of
Case
men
closed.
between the ages 16 and 73 watch porn in any random month. There's statistically no way all of these guys are shocked by the sex itself. What they are gawking at is sex from the perspective of female desire, scenes that depict women coming first and frequently. And what they are surprised by is the women they know love these scenes. In one video, a guy declares, "Now I know why women enjoy book clubs and wine." But his astonishment in itself is astonishing. Like, what do you think adult women were into? Not having sex and drinking wine? Grow up. Imagine a group of men sitting around drinking wine, discussing the porn they watch. That is what you guys are essentially doing. It's just funny, okay? Like, it's funny. Are we really—
Gentlemen, be honest. Have you ever sat with a group of your homies, kissing and cuddling the homies, kissing them goodnight and being like, "Hey bro, what kind of porn do you watch?" Personally, I haven't done that. But be honest.
Really going to pretend that a story about a young woman getting a job milking mythical creatures to pay off her student debt is...
Exactly, Fox. Marshall says bizarre. What are we watching? What the hell are we watching? Fox says peak. Precisely. You're watching peak. Enjoy it. Sit back. Open up a pack of Ritz. Get yourself some water, some good old H2O, and consume the content, brother.
It's not funny. It's funny. If that makes me a sexist or misogynist, you got me. To act like you are so different and above the other gooners is just, it's silly.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. No. Judge not lest ye be judged. Let he who is without goon cast the first stone.
Sorry, but you are no different than Joe Schmo jorking it to fat booty Latinas in Space 12. You're sitting there all high and mighty, one hand on the book, acting like you're so superior because you can perfectly envision a horse spinning 360 degrees in your mind. I'm not impressed. The scenes these men are reading, to many people, myself included, are insanely sexy. But purely in terms of the acts being described, they aren't all that lurid. And as many of the comments on these videos point out, there's much wilder stuff out there. For example, these men have clearly not yet discovered knotting, a popular term in romantasy right now that involves werewolves whose penises get so swollen after sex, they have to stay inside their partners until the swelling subsides.
That sounds like some Mormon shit. You never had the friends to talk about porn with, wouldn't be opposed to it. You know, I think we all need that outlet every now and again. And Marshall says, I take it back. I talked to one of my friends about what they watch. Thank you for being honest. But we were joking a little too much. Right, because there's always a hint of truth in there, and you're trying to mask that with comedy. Laughing is a coping mechanism.
Oh, honey, that's not a popular trend in romantasy. That's just a thing real dogs do. Oh, you just don't get it. You don't know what knotting is. What are these women reading, bro?
Oh, that's what you're talking about, Fox. Why is it talking about knotting? I've never heard of that before. You have read stuff with knotting. I did not even know that was a thing. I thought she was talking about the Mormon act of soaking.
Oh, what happened to that like stupid fucking corny Hallmark thing, going home for Christmas to your hometown and falling in love with the cute farmer boy? What happened to that? We used to make fun of that. We truly did not know what we had until it was gone. Now women out here fantasizing about getting their asses clapped by demons and werewolves and goblins and ghouls. I remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh my god, this is so crazy. Women are crazy. 50 Shades of Grey looks like missionary sex through a bedsheet for the sole purpose of procreation compared to the average woman on TikTok is reading. At least Christian Grey was a human man and not a fucking dog. You fantasize about dating the quiet, shy, nerdy girl. You know, she's...
There's no laws against the Pokemon, Batman.
Innocent, she's pure, she's not like those other girls, like going out clubbing and hooking up with
These are basically
men.
Pokemon.
No, she's at home, curled up by the fire in a blanket, reading a book, except that book is about f***ing a half man, half bull. Let me let you in on a little secret. The quiet, nerdy girl is way more of a freak than the average hoe. Are you kidding me? It's not even close. The average hoe might have a body count of like 15 or so, but the quiet, nerdy girl is fantasizing about getting back shots from Cthulhu. That is at least 100 bodies. Now listen, there's nothing inherently
at least.
Okay? There's
that's a
nothing
low
wrong
ball,
with
dude.
play. You know, fiction is fiction, right? You know, you're not actually going to bang
All
your
hail Lord
stepsister,
Cthulhu.
right? These women are not actually going to bang a cow. Or at least I hope not. We all know there is a difference between fantasy and reality. Well, what happens when they try to bring fantasy into reality?
You're down in the pits of hell.
You
I
get
respect it.
Sinners and Stardust.
Looks like a party. Pyramid Head. Silent Hill is so dope.
What in the eyes wide shut is going on here? Sinners and Stardust was supposed to be a dark romance ball for romantasy authors and fans alike. So what's the big deal? Seems like a fun, sexy time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, if you're a woman. If you're a man, the night may have gone a little differently for you. Alright y'all, it appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset I have to make. This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know my good friend Animus. He's attended a signing of mine in the past and obviously is a musical artist. This past weekend he attended Sinners and Stardust and probably had one of the most heartbreaking experiences.
Oh,
so
no.
listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent? Or to
Nope.
put your hands in his waistband or down his pants or touch his dick? Hello? Do we think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell how many hands are on him?
That's wild. There was another story like this. I think it was a TikTok influencer. I don't know her name, but like I think it was her and there was some other girl who was sexually harassing a guy. Dude verbally said, I'm not okay with this. I'm not comfortable with this. I don't consent to this. And they were still just groping all over him, twerking all over him, getting all touchy-feely, and like he's trying to get away. And is just not a good look. It's kind of spooky how often that happens.
And whose are whose? Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual panic attack because of this? Furthermore,
I mean, just hearing horror stories like this, you know what
do
I
we
mean?
think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he'd kidnap a woman, despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't do that and, you know, that shit is fiction, and then
Right.
attempt to follow him when he tries to get away? And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received notification that an air tag was tracking him, which showed on his person all the way to his hotel room. They molested this
good.
guy until he passed out from anxiety, and then they put a f***ing tracker on him in order to stalk him back to his hotel. This poor guy, dressed like a character in one of the romantasy books at this romantasy convention full of women. That is like throwing roast beef into a pit of wolves. Or in this case, throwing a wolf into a pit of roast beef. I remember years ago there was this thing called cosplay is not consent. Basically it was a campaign to bring attention to the fact that people at conventions would often come up to women dressed in sexy costumes and just grope and grab them without their consent.
not okay.
Yeah, apparently we have to bring that back because these women did not get the memo. I've been a furry for over a decade and attended a lot of fur cons. Sure, sometimes weird shit happens, but honestly I can't believe the dark romance crowd is out here acting like this. Like, me and my buddies in our fursuits are more respecting of consent and bodily autonomy.
Right.
Get your shit together, y'all. When the furries
That's what I'm saying, man. The furries have never been the problem. My brothers and sisters in fur. I stand with my furry brothers and sisters, absolutely.
calling you out for being freaks, you need to reflect. Something has gone horribly wrong. Not only were the men at this book talk convention assaulted, but women were also assaulted by...
How do you find this place? Google, bro. Google, my boy. Yeah, that's just repeated sexual assault, straight up. And that's the thing. Men experience tons of SA, and it's almost always never reported or looked into. It's fucking insane. And then oftentimes when it is reported, like the anecdote I just told you about that Twitch star who was assaulting that one guy, it's like she later went on video and was talking about how it's embarrassing for him, or like people will call him gay for it because he didn't want the attention or something like that. And that's another big reason why I think it goes unreported a lot of the time, is because it really isn't a good look for the guy. You know what I mean? There is the societal perceived power dynamic of men having more power than women in most cases. But when it's something like that, where the roles kind of get reversed and the dude is put in a vulnerable position, it's hard for him to kind of step out and be like, look, I'm a victim here, because it makes him look weak. It could embarrass him. Absolutely. He could get those, the accusations and people calling him all kinds of names and stuff. So it's a difficult position. It's a really, really difficult position. And kind of going back and touching on what we were talking about with Emaru earlier at the TwitchCon, it's just keep your hands to yourselves at the end of the day. It's really as simple as that. Consent goes so fucking far, and we can avoid all this bullshit if people can just not touch other people without their permission.
By women. Multiple women, including a performer, reported being assaulted there as well. Even an author there said she was groped and dragged away from her friends, and said no matter how many times she said no, quote, "My words did nothing." May I remind you, this is a book convention, okay?
Yeah.
For books. Literal BDSM clubs are more respectful than this. There needs to be more studies on how this stuff affects women's brains, because clearly some are unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Ivy Lipton, a doctoral candidate in human sexuality, actually wrote about this for EV Magazine. I don't know what a doctoral candidate in human sexuality is, but she's hot, so I trust her. Your brain on orgasms isn't neutral. Dopamine release during climax is a powerful conditioning agent. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination centers around abuse, monstrous violence, and submission to non-human entities, your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. It's not empowerment, it's neuroplasticity at its darkest. Scientists, psychologists...
Interesting. I guess that makes sense. If something gets you off, you know, you want to crave more of that. But I'm also considering the other end of it. It's like, if that's all you get exposed to, like we said earlier, you got to spice things up sometimes. You know what I mean? So maybe it's just like a duration kind of thing.
And the general public often state that men are visual and women are emotional. When it comes to sex, men can be turned on instantly by a sexual image despite their mood, and women need to be turned on emotionally to get in the mood. So
that's what we were talking about, where women need the more, they need to get the imagination and the gears turning. And that's why they prefer the smut novels, and why it's almost exclusively women who read those smut novels, is because it gets the imagination going. Whereas a guy, you just put on a porn video and he's there. You know what I mean? Yeah. We are simple creatures.
Stands to reason that porn for men is visual and for women is in the mind. I'm not equating porn to smut novels, because one is a video of two people actually having real sex and the other is, well, just words on paper. I'm, however, talking about the effect on the consumer. We know watching porn is bad for the brain. That's been proven and only rejected by gooners who don't want to give it up. But is reading smut bad? You might say, duh, that's the whole point. Okay, fair enough. So let me rephrase, is reading smut harmful? Should we shame people for things that are wrong, immoral, or harmful? In my line of work, I've been told many times that shame has no place in sex. But if I use my brain for 2 seconds, it's clear.
That's not true. That's not true. I took a BDSM test and shame was on there. Some people get turned on by being shamed.
Clear that line of thinking is nonsense. Incest should be shamed, bestiality should be shamed, pedophilia should be shamed. I'm not equating monster smut with these things, but there are 50 shades of gray, so to speak, along the spectrum of harmful. Conditioning your brain and body to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery, or sexual violence is not healthy. Basically, they're cooked. Like, women are cooked. They are frying their brains with this stuff. It's a pipeline, right? It's like the infamous evil alt-right pipeline. You know, you start watching Shoe on Head, owning the feminists in 2015, and then in 2025, you're hailing Hitler, right? You know, the alt-right pipeline.
The alt-right pipeline,
like
exactly.
You're reading Morning Glory Milking Farm, and the next thing you know, you're Mrs. Hands, right? Just say no. Just say no to monster porn. But why is monster smut so popular with women in particular? Like, you rarely see the opposite, and when you do, it's just like a girl with cat ears and fangs, or like a 10-foot-tall dommy-mommy vampire with giant titties. Meanwhile, women are like, I want to the pollution monster from Fern Gully. So people on Reddit asked this very question. Let's see the responses. Why do you guys like monster romances? Asking for a friend. Several reasons. 1, human men are quite often terrible. Romance books with human men are already partly fantasy, but monsters just takes the fantasy bit further. 2, it's sort of human nature to imagine relationships with paranormal beings and creatures. We've been doing it in literature and art for centuries. It's just gotten a lot more graphic now, lol. 3, unique body forms / parts and so many different kinds of dicks. Scary, mean, terrifying creature is sweet to her, kind, takes care of her, protects her, works hard to be gentle, etc. Maximal escapism, minimal association to real-life assholes, the patriarchy, misogyny, and oppression of women, etc, etc. Because the monsters are less dangerous than dating actual men. As a fat woman of color, modern, contemporary, and even fantasy romances are hard to click to because they are almost always about thin white women and just too realistic, and romance in real life is not always attainable for fat women / women of color. In monster alien romance though, my size doesn't matter and it's easier to get into that headspace and enjoy it. I'm sick of the men on Earth and looking for some variety. Non-humans haven't betrayed and hurt me, so they feel like a safe haven, if that makes sense. Plus the unusual dick. Monsters have big, fun-shaped cocks.
Bad dragon.
Love some bizarre peen. Unique genitalia. I don't know what I was expecting, honestly.
Yes, dude, Marshall, you're right on it, dude. Perfectly timed question.
A lot of women's smut, especially monster smut, is about submission, domination, forced breeding, non-consensual consent. The women are like conquered and taken and overpowered by these monsters. And I think many of these women are reading these books containing monsters and not men because masculinity and dominance in men has been completely demonized in modern society. But the truth is, many women still crave it. You see, the monsters in these stories have those like dominant masculine traits that women like so much, but they're not human men. They have all these traits women desire without the problematic baggage human men bring, without being the men they hate or have been told to hate. It is the perfect guilt-free slop. But they don't just want a wild dominant man, they want to tame a wild dominant man. Similar to when a man sees an art hoe with a nose ring, you can save her from her daddy issues. You can do it. It definitely won't backfire and ruin your life. Go for it, go talk to her. With many women, there's this desire for like danger and aggression, but also the desire to tame that danger and aggression. The desire to be that special woman.
At the end of the day, it's all fantasy. And I think that's just part of the huge appeal, is that there is that disconnection from reality. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, whatever gets you off, dude.
Who can melt his heart. You see, my dragon boyfriend could rip me to shreds and kill me instantly, but he won't because he's nice and he loves me. But honestly, at the end of the day, just like the video I made about the anime girl in a wheelchair where men were saying, this is the average male fantasy, and a bunch of women were like, you wanna rape a disabled girl? When in reality, it was just a distilled manifestation of the average male fantasy, which is to protect and provide for a sweet woman and save her. This is like basically the flip of that, right? This is just the distilled manifestation of the female fantasy. Men are seeing this and they're saying, what do you mean you want to milk a minotaur? When in reality, it's just to have a big, strong protector and provider swoop you up and save you. And like I said in that video, they're basically both the same fantasy. This is a tale as old as time, the princess being saved from the dragon by a knight in shining armor, whether the dragon be a wheelchair or...
And that's just it, Fox. It's like they're kind of into the same shit. Guys get cat girls and slimes, girls get tentacles and werewolves. We're not so different at the end of the day.
Or student loans, you know? But in this case, the woman is being f***ed by the dragon, and the knight sits in the corner and watches.
See, I'm saying, welcome, Dahlia. No, you want to milk a minotaur. See?
Maybe it's not that deep. There are some hungers.
It's really not that deep.
Than fed. And maybe as women, for the sake of society, we have to starve our hunger for minotaur penis.
Milking a minotaur sounds fun.
That's the moral of this video.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? What is your theory? Why is the monster romance genre so popular with women in particular? And who is your weirdest? Hear me out. Be honest. I don't...
It's exactly what we talked about. It gets the whole imagination going. There's the disconnection from reality, and at its core, it is arousing. And it's just that combination of factors that all... I mean, dudes, we're very visual. We like the graphics. Women, on average, right? It's, again, not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Dudes like the visuals. Women prefer the more imaginative, emotional side of it, right? And this is that. So that's why.
I want to hear no Lola Bunny, okay? You all know mine already. It's not that he's a fish, okay? He has an energy, okay? He has a vibe. You know what? Never mind. And
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm a virgin. Don't judge you. You need something to think about. Yeah, I'm a virgin, chat. I've never even kissed a girl. Just ask my girlfriend.
I'll see you guys again really
Hi,
soon
babe.
with a new video. Bye!
Yeah, W video by Shu. Yeah, I missed this one, and obviously I missed that first one that we were about to watch before this one. But milking minotaurs,
So
all right.
Apparently,
whatever
JD Vance
whatever gets
is
you off,
talking
man.
About Hassan.
He has
Whatever gets you off.
which is basically
Oh no!
I'm trying to go back to the home. There we go. Stop. But anywho, yeah, babe, you came in at like the tail end of it. Unfortunately, we had some great discussions. Yeah, no judgment here. You've read the most insane shit on Wattpad. What's Wattpad? Is that like a fan fiction kind of thing? Marshall just goes, "Oh Lord." Oh lordy. Let's see what else YouTube has got. I spectated the #1 Daredevil in Rivals. I need to watch that. I need to see how the pros play Daredevil. I've actually been having a lot of fun with him, but I'm not that good with him just yet. Oh no. I saw that Elon was on JRE earlier. I got that notification. We'll just put this on. Just because we were talking about AI earlier.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
That's the nature of the scam. It's a bank shot.
Dude, Elon is looking decrepit.
Then the rebuttal from the Dems is like, oh, well, the vast majority of the people who are marked as live in the Social Security Administration weren't receiving Social Security Administration payments.
This guy has aged 20 years in 5 months.
That is true. What they forgot to mention is they're getting fraudulent payments from every other government program. And that's why the Dems were so opposed to turning off, to declaring someone dead who was dead. Because it would stop the entire other...
a book site. It's got both books and fanfics.
Is it trackable? Like all this other fraud,
It's
if
totally
they wanted
trackable.
to, they could chase it all down.
Yeah, it's not even hard.
Yeah, Marshall shouldn't know some of this stuff yet. Your childlike virgin eyes are too young, my friend. Be gone! 18 plus disclaimer. It's a little late for that.
Chasing it all down.
They're opposing chasing it all down because it turns off the money magnet.
Yeah, he's really
for the
aged
illegals.
in a very short amount of time.
Because it's very logical to like I'm saying the most common sense things possible. If someone's got a birthday in Social Security that is an impossible birthday, meaning they are older than the oldest living American or were born in the future, then you should call them and say, excuse me, we seem to have your birthday wrong, because it says that you're 200 years old. That's all you need to do.
And then you would remove them from the Social Security database and make that number no longer available for all those other government payments.
Exactly.
And how much
I have no clue what they're talking about. I'm not paying attention.
Hundreds of billions of dollars.
And this is all traceable. Like you could hunt all this down.
Like you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes here. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
we don't need to call Sherlock Holmes for this one.
Is this part
we
of the?
just need to call the person.
Is this
and say, excuse me, we seem to have the like we must have your birthday wrong because it says you're 200 years old or were born in the future. So could you tell us what your birthday is? That's all you need to do. It's that simple.
But all these other government payments that are available that are connected to this Social Security number, it seems like if you just chased that all down, you would find the widespread fraud. You would find where it's going.
Yes, but the root of the problem is the Social Security Administration database, because the Social Security number in the United States is used as a de facto national ID number. You know, that's why, like, if the bank always asks for your social, so like, any financial institution will ask for your Social Security number.
It sounds so insane that this isn't chased down.
I agree.
That in and of itself that's such mishandling.
Yes. No, it's mind blowing. So yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you were very reluctant last time you were here to talk about the extent of some of the fraud because you're like, they could kill me because this is kind of.
What I'm saying is that, if you create
Just want to check how long I've been streaming for.
To be pragmatic and realistic.
Holy shit, 2.5 hours.
you actually can't manage to zero.
Time
fraud.
flies
You
when you're
can
talking
manage
about
to low
milking
fraud number,
minotaurs.
but not to zero fraud. If you manage to zero fraud, you're going to push so many people over the edge who are receiving fraudulent payments that the number of inbound homicidal maniacs will be really hard to overcome. So I'm actually taking, I think, quite a reasonable position, which is that we should simply reduce the amount of fraud, which I think is not an extremist position. And we should aspire to, have less fraud over time. Not that we should be ultra draconian and eliminate every last scrap of fraud, which I guess would be nice to have, but like we don't even need to go that extreme. I'm saying we should just stop the blatant large-scale super.
Get out of my swamp! Exactly.
I think that's a reasonable position.
It's a very reasonable position.
Yeah.
And so, what was the most shocking pushback that you got when you started implementing Doge, when you started investigating into where money was going?
Well, I guess I should have anticipated this, but while most of the fraudulent government payments especially to the NGOs, go to the Democrats, most of it, like, I don't know, for argument's sake, let's say 80%, maybe 90%, 10 to 20% of it does go to Republicans. And so when we turn off funding to a fraudulent NGO, we'd get complaints from whatever the 10% of Republicans who are receiving the money, and they would, they would very loudly complain, because the honest answer is the Republicans are partly, they're receiving some of the fraud too. They're getting a vig.
Jesus.
It's almost hurting him to say that because he knows most of his fan base is right wing. So he's like, yeah, I kind of hate to say this, but
yeah, I want to be clear. It's not like the Republican Party is some ultra pure paragon of virtue.
No.
Fuck no, they're not. They suck, bro.
Well, you see that with the congressional insider trading. It's
these nuts. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's left and right.
I mean, the whole uniparty criticism has.
We were talking about earlier how much I hate the government. Both sides suck. Both mainstream political parties are absolute garbage and sold out this country and its children generations ago.
Some validity to it, There's so and it's like if you turn off fraudulent payments, it's not like I said, it's not like 100% of those payments were going to Democrats. A small percentage were also going to Republicans. Those Republicans complain very loudly. And that's so there was a lot of pushback on the Republican
got the same microphone
side when we started cutting some of these funds. And I tried telling them, like, well, 90% of the money is going to your opponents, but even if they're getting 10%,
they want their piece.
Yeah, they want their piece.
And they've been getting that piece for a long time.
Yes.
Did you
this
think...
is why, politics is like...
It's dirty business.
It's a very dirty business.
That's like saying, if you like sausages and respect the law, do not watch either of them being made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Are you singing 99 Red Balloons,
that's not
Quentin?
True because I've made sausage before.
Yeah. It's actually
it's like, it's not that big a deal. You add
much better
fat and
politics.
spices and casing, run it through the machine. Not that big a deal.
Yeah. I mean, I think the stuff I'm saying here is not like if you stand back and think about it for a second, like, oh yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like one political party is going to be pure devil or pure angel. There's I think there's much more corruption on the Democrat side, but there's still some corruption on the Republican side.
How
too.
did it happen that the majority of the corruption wound up being on the Democrat side?
Well,
money?
Because the transfer payments, especially to illegals, are very much on the Democrat side.
That's all about
the root
money.
of it all is the illegal situation.
Yes, I mean there's
or a focal point.
Yes,
I've always described the political parties this way. The Republicans will stab you in the front, right? The Democrats are going to stab you in the back. Either way you're getting stabbed. It's just a matter of how do you want it. Do you want to see it coming and brace yourself for the impact? Or do you want them to whisper sweet nothings into your ear like, no, you're not going to get stabbed. Don't worry. As they put it right into your spine. So, yeah, I hate the government, chat. I really, really do. They suck. They're garbage. They're horrible at what they do, and they act like they're the shit.
It's also like it also be accurate to.
And they're still getting paid while the government's shut down. By the way, I should mention that.
While, like, obviously, not everyone who's a Democrat is a criminal. Almost everyone who is a criminal is a Democrat. because the Democrats are the soft on crime party. So if you're a criminal, who are you going to vote for?
That is true, actually.
Right.
They are softer on crime.
Did you think?
I mean, that's
you were
kind of
going
anecdotal,
to be able
but
to get more done than you were.
We did get a lot done.
Right.
And Doge is still happening, by the way. The Doge is still underway. There's still waste and fraud being cut by.
That's right, because he's no longer involved in it. I think that's because he started it, Elon. I mean, but then him and Trump had the whole falling out, and I just don't think he's involved anymore. But yeah, Doge is still going.
So it hasn't stopped.
It's less publicized.
It's less publicized.
Ooh, I wonder why that
you don't
is.
have like a clear person to attack anymore.
I wonder why that is. Maybe because they found some shit on the wrong people, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we can't let the people know about this." That's where my conspiracy brain is going. I'm already bored. Let's see what else YouTube has got. Oh, here's a good one. Did I watch this one? No, I didn't watch this one yet. Alex O'Connor. I'm a big fan of Alex O'Connor. He used to be known as the Cosmic Skeptic on YouTube, but then he kind of had his big break, and now he's one of like the mainstream voices for atheism. I haven't watched the Schultz podcast in way too long, though. Star was supposed to be singing 99 Red Balloons. Well, I figured that's what the lyrics were, but yeah. No, good job. Are you kidding? The government's fantastic. Yeah, I don't care. Just feed the kids. Exactly, babe. Exactly. Dude, why is my YouTube freaking out right now? I need to see the thumbnails, people. I need to see the thumbnails. I'm going to watch this Alex O'Connor clip just because I like Schultz too. And I haven't seen this one yet.
We've never heard a single thing about Christianity.
Sure.
So the Gospels.
So there are 4 Gospels. Gospels, Eugalion in Greek, just means good news.
Okay.
So the beginning of the Gospel of Mark says the beginning of the Gospel of Jesus Christ. The beginning of the good news about Jesus Christ.
So these are the stories of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it's good news. It's just people saying like, good news. I've got some good news to share with you.
Yeah.
And there are 4 Gospels in the Bible.
Why aren't we watching Duelist Heroes Ranked? Because Battlefront is lame. That's why I didn't want to stream on the main today. I'm not in a gaming mood. Do I appear to be in a gaming mood, Loki? You dropped like $75 into Doge for no particular reason. Yeehaw. Into like the Doge coin. Because I remember there was that Doge coin a while back. It was one of the new cryptos that were popping up after Bitcoin. Or do you mean into that government organization? Oh, it's a Rivals video. I see. Duelist Heroes Ranked. Okay. Yeah, the DPSs. Gotcha. I'd be more inclined to watch that personally, but nah. I actually tried. Okay, so funny story. I was about to stream Rivals on the main because it's got that zombies mode, and I figured it'd be perfect for Halloween, right? But I accidentally match made into quick match, and I didn't want to play quick match because I didn't want to waste 10 minutes of my life getting shit on. So I left the game, like before it even started. It was still counting down before everybody picked their character. I got a 30-minute penalty because I left a match yesterday too, and I guess the game doesn't like that when you accidentally matchmake into the mode you don't want, because you have to hold down the matchmake button to like cancel the matchmaking, but it finds a match faster than it gives you the amount of time to cancel it. So I just said fuck it. I'm not going to stream on the main today, and that's why we're streaming here. One of the reasons
Matthew,
we're streaming
Mark, Luke,
here.
and John. The Mark is probably the earliest, written around 70 AD, so about 40 years after Jesus died.
Yep.
Then you've got Matthew and Luke, which are written 10, 15 years after that. And John's Gospel, which is written
It's literally on my
like 10,
feed.
15 years after that still.
Oh.
All of that is disputed. You know, dating is a very, very difficult thing to do.
Sure.
And they all tell stories about the things that Jesus said and did. 3 of those Gospels rely heavily
I'll try
on
to
each
find
other.
it after this
They're
video.
all interconnected. They're called the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
I hope I
John's
opened this in a
Gospel
new
is like on its
tab.
own. It
Nope,
seems to have
I
its own
suck, bro.
sources, its own
Godfather 3.
I fucking suck, bro.
And so,
Timeline's a little fuzzy.
so what you've actually got is the Bible, but Bible just means like library. That's where we get like biblio.
Ah, la biblioteca.
It's
Si.
just it means like book or library or something like that. And so it's a library of books. It's lots of books. So
Yeah.
when somebody says, "Oh, that's just because the Bible says that," the Bible is a collection of texts.
So you have to refer to which text is saying that.
Yeah, but also it means that if you've got 4 different texts which all say the same thing, you haven't just got, oh, it's just the Bible that says that. It's like, no, you've got 4 independent accounts which all say the same thing. So there's a lot more like evidence of history in the Gospels than people give them credit for. So there are some stories that only appear in one of the Gospels and none of the others. They might have happened, we don't know. But if you've got stories that are independently attested in every single one of them, especially if you've got other reasons to think that they wouldn't be made up, it's a good reason to think that they're historically true.
Now, you said real quick the synoptic. So synoptic gospels rely on each other?
Yep.
So does that mean that like one thing could have been written in one and then kind of paraphrase
so
another?
Mark's Gospel is the shortest, and most people think it came first. Around 95% or so of Mark's Gospel is also in Matthew and Luke, like word for word.
So-
And then Matthew and Luke add extra stuff.
But do you work off of Mark's, for example?
I prefer to work off Mark's when I'm looking at the historical Jesus, because it's the earliest report. The earliest thing in the New Testament is actually Paul's letters. You've heard about like 1 Corinthians, Ephesians, and these kinds of things. These are letters that Paul writes to various churches, and these are actually the earliest sources.
And what year is that?
Again, it's disputed, but probably around like 50 AD, something like that.
So 50 years after the death of Christ, Paul...
20 years after the
Sorry.
death of Christ, yeah.
Right, because it's 33. Okay. Got it. So he's like, listen, these things happened. I'm going to tell you exactly.
But Paul is not writing a biography of Jesus. Paul is writing letters to churches telling them like how to organize themselves, what the theology should be, all of this kind of stuff. It's only later that you get these biographies. So you've also got different genres in the New Testament. The Gospels are biographies that tell the life and times of Jesus. Paul is writing letters to people. You've got Revelation, which is this apocalyptic vision that John of Patmos has and writes all about it. But the Gospels are most interesting to me because you've got these 4 different accounts, and sometimes they subtly differ from each other, and you figure out what you can learn about these different things. So, like, you know who John the Baptist is?
I've heard the name, but what is he?
So a lot of people have heard of him but don't know anything about him. John the Baptist baptizes Jesus, and it's at the beginning of all 4 of the Gospels. This is something that they wouldn't make up. Because if you're writing a story about Jesus and you're trying to present this man as the Son of God, maybe God himself, it makes very little sense for him to be baptized by another known preacher. And so the fact that they all included it means that it must be something that actually happened.
Right.
So we have this historical fact about John the Baptist, which is kind of interesting. Now,
because you're saying people at the time would refute it because this is written at a time where John the Baptist could potentially still be alive.
Yeah, he still would have still would have been around, but also like they wouldn't have made it up.
Because
Like,
why would
too
Jesus
foolish.
get-
If it didn't happen, they wouldn't like make it up. It's called sometimes called like the criterion of embarrassment.
Yeah.
If you include something that's kind of embarrassing or doesn't look good for you,
right off the entire.
It's like in Matthew's gospel at the end of when Jesus appears to his disciples. Matthew's gospel says that the 12 disciples saw him and they worshipped, but some of them doubted, which is like not something that the author would make up.
That's even more believable.
Exactly.
That's that's really sophisticated storytelling. Like if I was to lie, I would write that in.
Yeah, that's the thing. But you wouldn't want people to think, if you're trying to present Jesus as the Son of God, this is him. You wouldn't make up a story that some of his closest disciples doubted that.
Or entering Jerusalem on a donkey, like having this sort of, I guess, like low status entrance for a Messiah.
The Gospels do actually want to paint Jesus as like this humble servant, and the entering in on the donkey is a callback to an Old Testament prophecy about riding in on a donkey.
So that could be made up.
It could you could read that as like it's either made up to try and fit Jesus within like
the Old Testament.
The Old Testament, and it's made up story for that reason. Or you could say that Jesus did actually do it, but that he did it knowing that he's
doing a callback.
But
they're calling him the son of David.
But there are also other reasons why people might dispute things. So, for example, riding into town, into Jerusalem on the back of a donkey, and there's people lining the streets, Hosanna in the highest. A lot of people think that if this event actually occurred, Jesus would have just been arrested, like in an instant.
YouTube, this is still fair use. I'm just fascinated by what he's talking about. So I'm like, I realize I'm not like pausing and talking like I normally do. I'm just legit. I'm just legit interested.
A lot of people are just like, there's no way this could have happened historically, just because.
Oh, how about some leaflet after this clip? Yeah, we can watch some leaflet.
Jesus would have been arrested.
I think I saw a
The
couple
Romans
videos
what on
of
earth
hers
is
on
going
there.
This man is like being worshipped. He needs to be arrested. So there are all kinds of ways that you can try.
Any truth to the rumors that you're going to be Jason Statham's stand-in? Yep, 100%. Actually, Hollywood hit me up the other day, and they're like, bro, we need you. And I said, all right, bet, I'm there.
Try and figure out whether these stories actually happened or whether they didn't. And I find them all extremely interesting. And they can also tell us about the communities at the time. So John's Gospel...
Sorry to interrupt real quick. About coming back in on a donkey. Isn't that like the least attention-seeking version of coming back in? Like if you roll back in on like a white horse, then maybe people go, yo, Jesus is back. But if you come back in humbly on the donkey, maybe nobody even notices.
Like all the celebrations, I think, is what it's saying.
Yes,
they were
celebrating
him
as
he was coming back in.
As he's coming in, like people are lining the streets.
And the fact that it means something to the high priest of Jerusalem.
Yeah, they'll...
Got it. Okay.
And he's doing it on a feast day, I'm sure.
So he's making a celebration. This is like the Yankees win the World Series. This is the parade.
Yes. Yeah, this is around the time of the Passover.
And your observation on that is that that would not be smart given how much hysteria it would cause, and it would put him in a particularly...
Yeah, I mean, but Jesus was no stranger to doing things which aren't smart. Like he was happy to put himself in danger, but it's more like it probably didn't happen because that's probably when he would have been arrested.
Got it. And he doesn't get arrested immediately.
He doesn't get arrested there, no.
Therefore, that might not have happened.
Yeah, that's one reason to think that it might not have happened.
But you were saying something, I think, about Mark, and then we got...
So John the Baptist is mentioned at the beginning of all of the Gospels, and John's Gospel in particular, it opens by really emphasizing that John the Baptist is not the Messiah. It opens saying, like, there was a man called John, and he was not himself the light. He was making way for the light. And then people come up to John the Baptist and they say, are you the Messiah? And he says, no, I'm not the Messiah. And he's saying, and there's this real emphasis. Like the author of John's Gospel is telling us John the Baptist is not the Messiah. What does that mean? It gives us a clue that there were people at the time of the writing of John's Gospel who thought that John the Baptist was the Messiah. And John the Baptist is a really important figure in Christianity. Jesus in the Gospels calls him the greatest man ever born of a woman. It's John the Baptist.
He had to leave a little. He had to leave a little room for him. That's fire.
But a lot of Christians say, like, oh well, obviously Jesus was excluding himself there, and you would say that as a Christian. But for me, I'm reading that, I'm like, are you sure about that? Because I think Jesus was a disciple of John the Baptist. I think that's who Jesus historically was. John the Baptist is preaching. All the Gospels say. If you read like Mark's Gospel, which is the earliest, let's look at the earliest source. You know, it will say right there in the very earliest source that John the Baptist is in the wilderness preaching a baptism of repentance for the forgiveness of sins. What does that mean? No one really knows, but we know that he's doing some kind of water ritual for people of repentance for the forgiveness of sins. That's obviously something that Jesus picks up with the whole forgiveness of sins thing, right? But Christians will say, well, yeah, I mean, he didn't have the authority to forgive people's sins. He was just like announcing the forgiveness of sins. Like priests would often do this. They would say to people, your sins are forgiven. They're not forgiven.
Was John the Baptist a rabbi at the time?
He was like a preacher in the wilderness. He was probably he was like the son of a priest.
Was he religious?
Yeah, so he would have been Jewish.
So he's okay. Got it.
But there's some, like, we don't actually know very much about him is the thing. But we know from Luke's gospel, although
when I hear priest, I think Christianity. Rabbi.
But this is pre-Christianity.
That's what I'm saying. So he would be a rabbi or some form of religious scholar,
no, as in the father would have been like a spirit.
John the Baptist.
John the Baptist would have just a spiritual
like a guru.
wanderer.
Like
a guru. So and
a rebel to the synagogue.
Yes. So this is what often people think.
Cool. That was fucking interesting. Oh, speaking of the SNAP benefits, my boy Amir coming in clutch. All right, let's see if that leaflet video comes up. I'd rather watch that than a duelist ranking poisonally. I saw at least one leaflet video. Oh, here's one. Oh, okay, it's her talking about that Hassan clip or the JD Vance clip talking about Hassan.
He has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger.
We already reacted to the Asmongold one, but
Is this AI? Actually, I can tell. I can tell.
Asmon said the same thing.
Which is
Oh, this is real. This is real. Oh shit.
he has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger and point, he will run to that place and lay down.
You don't have to zap him.
No.
Hassan.
Not like Hassan Biker. No.
Wasn't that disgusting?
No electrocution of dogs here.
Name dropped by the Vice President of the United States of America.
President of the United States.
Yeah.
Talking about fucking Colorgate, about a guy shocking his dog on Twitch.tv.
That is
I
wild.
think it tells you that they're not that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering to an
Holy
innocent
crap.
animal, you're probably the kind of person who doesn't worry about suffering in people as well.
Yeah.
And that's been my experience. If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. So that's
Oh my
it's one of the ways,
God.
we really sort of test people. Is if Atlas responds well.
Oh, wait a minute, Quentin, which video? The one that we're watching now, or the Alex O'Connor one that we were just watching? Because I did turn it down. Let me turn this back up real quick. And babe, you said, do I need to post the Bible verses that say we should feed the children? Because do I really need to do that? Because I will, but really, yeah. It's one of those things that should go without saying, but I guess it doesn't hurt.
Them if they like Atlas, we know they're good people, but
Both. Okay, I'll turn this one up a little bit.
Really mean to animals. You know, it's like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Yeah.
Like every serial killer ever
Did he say
has
Jeffrey?
actually been really bad to animals.
Wait, did he just compare
Check.
Hassan to Jeffrey Dahmer? This is fucking incredible. I can't believe this is real. This is crazy.
That's sort of how they started. He has this command place, which is basically if I snap my finger
Man,
and point, he will
I wish I could watch more of it. Holy crap. That's crazy. So we have people on podcasts, like in actual political, like, you know, not like the internet sphere, but people in like the for reals, like
IRL.
the for reals government talking about happenings on Twitch. That's crazy.
IRL
Like,
isekais.
Hassan replied. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm gonna be real. I love this, honestly. I know a lot of people probably hate it, but I really enjoy just the straight up, no bullshit, just everyday people talk. I really like it.
run to that.
Like I like the kind of dismantling of the veil. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, right? The veil, like where they have this fucking fake ass, like plaster sort of, you know, facade about politicians and stuff acting all, you know, prim and proper when life isn't like that, right? It's crazy. And like half the time the people that do that the people that are just full of like the plaster and the we're so proper and like, you know, proper and very what's the word, we have the appearances, keep up appearances. Those people are always such fucking assholes, like every time.
I mean, she's touching on what made Trump so appealing the first times, because in 2016, 2015, Trump just said shit. He didn't talk like a politician, and that was one of the major appeals of him, and why he got so many votes, I think, is because he wasn't that prim and proper guy. He just said whatever was on his mind, and I guess that resonated.
Am I wrong? They've been fucking assholes every single time. I just love it. I love like this kind of honesty, to be real. Like, it's so refreshing.
He will run to that place and lay down.
You don't have to zap him.
No.
Hassan.
Not like Hassan Biker. No.
Wasn't that disgusting?
No electrocution of dogs here.
How disgusting is that? What does that tell you about a person?
Well, I think it tells you that they're not that they're bad people.
Yes.
If you can actually cause suffering to an innocent animal.
Damn, dude, he is probably feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
And that's been my experience. If you mistreat dogs, that's almost 100% sign that you're going to be a really terrible person. So
JD Vance has done spot training for his own dog, so he knows that it is not an abusive practice, and yet he is still leaning into this fucking idea that I'm like abusing my dog, which is crazy because, hello, Christy Nome, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security shot her puppy point blank, ISIS execution style, and then threw the puppy's body in
There was an
goddamn
edit that just
landfill
flashed on the
in front of
screen.
construction workers.
I didn't see what
And
it
the
said.
I don't know
only
that
reason
story.
Why we know about it is because she wrote about it in her book.
Yeah, it's kind of a deflection because, like, what does that have to do with him, right? So, and the other thing too is that everybody that is talking shit about Hassan shocking the fuck out of, you know, going full Emperor Palpatine on Kaya.
Unlimited
training the dog is
power.
bad. No, like literally
No.
nobody's making that
No.
argument. That's
No.
like such a complete fucking straw man.
Yeah.
Nobody cares if people train dogs. Obviously, you discipline and you train
It's the way
dogs,
you do
right?
it.
What people have a problem with is the way he's been doing it. It's just the way that he's been using a shock collar. And not only
Catch
that,
these
like,
tentacles. Let's
be real.
go.
He has moved the goalpost insanely fucking hard. From the dog had no such collar to, oh, it's just a vibration collar, to like, oh, well, you know, it's not that bad, to who cares. He literally went like the entire fucking goalpost shift all the way to fucking Africa. Like, this guy can't even be honest about it, right? Well, anyway, the problem people have with is just
The
whole
volume
thing
still sucks?
is the fact that the
Hold
dog
on.
has to sit here for such a long time, and that the dog
For
has to sit here for such a long
hours
time,
without
if the dog
moving.
even dares to get up to, like,
Yeah, bro, like just hits the button and then the dog just lays back down where he's supposed to. Hold up, let me turn this up a little bit more. I don't want to overdo it because there is a very fine balance that I need to find.
you know,
Because these
move
videos get
around.
loud
Because,
really
you know,
quickly, but let me know what this sounds
living
like.
Things like to move around sometimes, and the fact that he immediately goes for like maximum, maximum thunderbolt is just fucking crazy. Like, what is he talking about?
What is happening? It is so transparent that these people not only do not give a shit about animal welfare, they don't give a shit about human welfare either. Because remember, this is the vice president we're talking about. The vice president of the United States.
And again, he's not addressing it. He's just fucking deflecting to a different argument. I feel like this is just their playbook every fucking time. Is they're faced with an argument and they don't even address the argument. They just, well, what about that? What about that? And the funny
What I was
thing
just thinking, so
is they
whataboutism?
always cry about whataboutisms, but they do it all the time.
Is talking about Reddit, Twitter drama while we're at the precipice of 40 million American citizens losing their SNAP benefits, as in 40.
Whose fault is that? Damn, that's crazy. Damn. Well, shit. Should just get. Who can fix that, man? That's crazy.
40 million Americans are about to starve, okay? 40 million Americans are about to starve in 2 days because the administration does not want to use the existing $6 billion.
No one is fucking starving, man, okay? Plus, don't you guys do that all the time for Ramadan? I don't want to fucking hear it.
That they have in their
Just call it Ramadan 2. Just Ramadan Part 2 or whatever, the prequel.
This is a Christian nation.
To keep giving money
Leaflet.
to people, they are going to go to food banks, which will not be able to make.
I'm gonna go to Hassan's stream and tell him that Hitler had a dog and treated it well in order to make an argument that he's worse than Hitler.
Make up for the lack of SNAP benefits that they get.
Involuntary fasting. No, in all seriousness now, all jokes aside, I mean, they can fix it if they want. Like, they're the ones holding shit hostage. Like, the Democrats.
She's
are
talking
holding
about the
shit
Senate
hostage.
Democrats,
They can fix
yeah.
it whatever they want. Okay, they're putting their foot down on stuff too. This isn't like a fucking JD Vance thing. It's stupid, right?
This is why I hate American politics, is because they'll use the people and their needs as a bargaining chip to get whatever they want. For the Republican side, it's like, yeah, from what I've seen, they've put out like 12 or 13 or so I think they're called continuing resolutions, I think, the CR bill. And that's to keep the government funded and keep the government open, and so that people can keep getting their benefits. But the Senate Democrats, because they need, I think, a total of 55 votes, and they're just shy of 55. Like, they've got 53 or something like that, at least for the last vote. And the Senate Democrats are refusing to play ball because there's some stipulation in that bill that the Republicans drafted. It's something about healthcare. I haven't looked super deeply into it. I just know that the vast majority of the Republicans are voting to keep the government open, and it's those like 45 or so Senate Democrats that are holding it back. But this is the political game that gets played. It's like you put in some bullshit in your bills, and then you bring that bill to the table, either at the Senate or the House, and then when the other side doesn't vote on it because of whatever particular stipulation you put in that bill, then you can point to them and be like, look, they don't want to help you. They're the problem. But what they're failing to say is that, well, there's actually some sneaky bullshit that we snuck in here, and if they vote for this bill, they're voting for the sneaky bullshit. Because if you vote on it, you vote for all of it. And this is the game that gets played. Both sides do it all the fucking time, and it's why I fucking hate our politics, man. We just can't be... They can't be open and transparent about it. And it's why those bills are so fucking long. Like, I remember a couple years ago, there was some like 1,000-page bill that was like trying to be rushed through, and it's like, nobody's got time to read 1,000 pages in 2 days. Are you kidding me? It's like, of course they're not going to vote on that. We don't know what's in there, and if we vote on it, we're voting for all of it. So it's all a game. It's all a fucking game. I hate it. I hate American politics so much.
And yeah, the other thing is yeah, like 50% of a lot of, I don't know if it's 50%, but a lot of food stamps do go to illegals, right? And not only that, that doesn't have anything to do with food banks. Food banks and food drives, food giveaways from churches, this has nothing to do with that. There's still all other ways to get food. It's just like you just can't pick what the food is, right? Like this isn't like total food blackout. Like,
if anything, this has just kind of like solidified my belief that government should be so fucking limited, because if they have this much power where they can legit control who eats and who doesn't, that's a fucking problem. Like, they shouldn't be using people's literal lives as a bargaining chip. It's insane.
What are we talking about? It's just so weird, man. Like, I don't know. You gotta try to starve to death in the USA. Yeah, we're incredibly blessed, actually. I'm actually curious as to what the answer is. Yes. Okay, guys, do you want to know how many people die in a year from starvation in the United States because they have no access to food? Do you guys want to know? 20 people a year in the United States. True starvation deaths dying from insufficient caloric intake, such as famine, is extremely rare. SNAP food banks, soup kitchens, shelters. These programs ensure that no one with minimal effort dies solely from inability to obtain food. So what people will do, apparently, records 20 to 30 deaths annually. Elderly neglect, so like isolated seniors who are like unable to like I mean, that makes sense to me, that there'd be like an old person who loses their mobility, but like nobody checks in on them. They have like no ability to actually go get like a phone, you know, like life, they don't have like life alert or anything like that.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
They can't move. And then you have you know, child abuse and severe mental illnesses, but not poverty alone, right? And then you have here, so these are the numbers that like they try to use, basically.
Oh, volume's good right
so
here. Good.
3,000 a year from
Okay.
protein, energy, malnutrition. So this is like nutrition deficiencies for elderly and sick, and cancer patients unable to absorb food. Not caloric.
Wasn't UAP transparency in the COVID bill? Fact check me. What's UAP? Here, I'll look that up real quick. I'll let Leaflet keep talking.
Starvation from poverty. And then you have 14,000 fabricated by blogs multiplying food insecurity.
Unidentified aerial phenomena.
And 20K malnutrition.
Wait, fucking UFOs? Holy shit, we're talking about aliens? I'm not saying it's aliens, but if it's aliens, hell yeah. UAP transparency in the COVID bill. Fact check me. I'm not sure about that, but now that you say that, see, like, that's the kind of fuck shit I'm talking about. Like, I guess UAP transparency is cool, but why is that in a COVID bill? Like, that's so weird to me. That's so weird to me. The COVID bill should be about COVID. Why are we talking about aliens in a COVID bill? And that's what I mean. It's like they slide some fuck shit in there, and then if you vote on that bill, you have to vote for the fuck shit. And that's the game.
That's from
I'm gonna look that up if that was actually
so the
in
thing
there.
is the people that are, you know, quote unquote starving to death are due to like nutritional issues, like due to like improper like different diseases, it's not due to access to food. Basically, it's not that the food isn't available, it's that they're unable to get it for like whatever reason, as in like they don't have the mobility to get it, or they got stuck or neglected or something like that. It has no.
Okay, so this is the AI overview. I asked UAP transparency in COVID bill. The AI overview says there is no single COVID bill that mandates UAP transparency. However, a 2020 government funding and COVID-19 relief bill did include a stipulation requiring an unclassified UAP report, which was released in 2021. Separately, that's probably what you're talking about, babe. Separately, current legislative efforts like the proposed UAP Transparency Act aim to further declassify and release UAP records to the public. Right, but this is distinct from the COVID era bill. Okay, so here's the 2020 stipulation in a COVID-related bill. A provision in the 2020 bill directed U.S. intelligence agencies to provide an unclassified report on UAPs to congressional intelligence committees within 180 days. This led to the release of a June 2021 report by the Director of National Intelligence, which acknowledged that most of the 144 incidents it reviewed remained unexplained. Yeah, like why is that in a COVID bill? That makes no sense to me. But that's exactly what I'm talking about. They mix things together. Can't just tackle it issue by issue.
Nothing to do with like there's literally no food and like you have nothing to eat, so you starve to death. And like continuing on along this line, you have some people who do starve to death for real, but the people who starve to death for real are people that get fucking stuck, like hiking accidents and shit, like people that get like stuck.
Even so, total starvation isn't accurate. There's sickness that can come with starvation, injuries sustained. Yeah, if you're malnourished, you're way more likely to get sick. You're way more likely to get injured. Absolutely. It's not completely accurate. And if they're just looking at deaths, that's not an accurate representation of the data, right? Like death is kind of the ultimate bad thing that will happen from starvation, but you're right. It's not talking about the other bad things that come because of starvation, like injuries and illness. You're absolutely right. Starvation isn't the main issue. The government should focus on the economy and wages, in my opinion. Shelter and housing, too. Food isn't so absurdly major of a problem in comparison in America. It's a lot of it's connected, right? People can't afford food because prices are out of control. They're overworked and underpaid. Housing is, another major issue. Huge corporations like BlackRock are buying out all the new housing developments that are popping up, and it's creating an entire generation of renters, just jacking up the prices of housing. Like, I rent a house with roommates right now, right? And I'm in a pretty decent position because our rent is so low, comparatively speaking, to all the other homes around us. Our landlords love us, by the way. That's why. But yeah, housing is a huge issue. Wages are a huge issue. It's just, yeah, America's not in the best spot right now. And I know that basically everybody except the top percentage of earners are feeling it. If you've got money, you're good. But if you don't got money, and that's most of us, you feel it. You really, really do.
On a mountain or something like that, and they fucking starve to death. Those are like the other cases that you have. See, homeless people are able to survive on free food. No such famine exists. There it is. This idea that people are gonna starve to death is just fucking retarded, to be honest. It's just dumb. The problem is people aren't gonna be able to get to eat what they want. And I'm gonna be real, I have no fucking problem with that. Sounds like a good thing to me, just being real. And I know it sounds really callous, and a lot of people, I feel like people will get mad at me for saying that, but I feel like beggars can't
Leaflet
be choosers,
is
and I've
very
always
callous.
thought it's always been a thing I've believed. You take what you can. You don't really have a choice, basically. You have to have some grace and actually be like, I can't really eat my favorite food right now because I just don't have money for it. Wait,
when I'm broke, what the fuck? I wasn't trying to replay it. I went to pause it and the video ended. No, that's why I get rice and tuna, fam. If I've only got $50 in my bank account, I will go on Amazon.com, get a 15-pound bag of rice, a 24-pack of tuna, and a big-ass gallon of teriyaki sauce, and that carries me through the month. I'm eating good for $50. I get sick of rice and tuna, but you know, I'm not going hungry. Yo, Kamala 2028? Kamala 2028? Let's see what Breaking Points has to say about this. I haven't watched Breaking Points in a little bit.
A number of pieces here on the direction of the Democratic Party. So Kamala Harris,
oh boy,
has been doing
my
a
favorite
little book
topic
tour and taking some interviews, and apparently she is seriously contemplating running for president again. Guys, let's go ahead and take a listen to this.
Gen Z and Latinos in some numbers moved across to Trump. You stayed in your comfort zone, didn't you? That was the Democrats' problem.
Yeah, dietary restrictions, those with health issues, and infants who need formula. Absolutely the equivalent of ordering a Big Mac. Right. No, that's definitely not the same thing. Especially the whole infants with formula thing. I remember recently, I feel like there was either a formula shortage or the stock that they had was like contaminated or something like that. And I remember that being a huge thing in the news not too long ago, like just last year or something.
I received 75 million votes from a variety of people.
But in the Electoral College, you were
I'm not
far
finished.
outdone.
I'm not finished.
Are they going to see a woman in charge in the White House?
In their lifetime, for sure.
Welcome back, Quentin.
Could it be you?
Possibly.
Have you made a decision yet?
No, I have not.
But you say in your book, I'm not done.
That is correct. I am not done.
Oh my God. I don't know.
Yes.
I take from that she is intending to run again.
I want
And
it.
It's crazy to me, Sagar, because
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Sagar's the Republican, of course he wants it. That's so funny. He's like, let's go, we're red for another 4 years, baby.
One, okay. How did your two?
All right, do you guys think Trump is going to be all dictator and go for a third term in 2028, or do you think JD Vance is going to take over? Who do you guys think is running in 2028?
Presidential races go. Number one in the Democratic Party, you didn't even make it to the first votes. Okay, so that was your first time out of the gates when voters actually got to see you in debates and, you know, like how this was going to go. And they were like, this is not working for us. You had to drop out. Then you're handed the nomination after Biden is pushed out of the race and you lose. And
Kanye,
I'm
2028.
sympathetic. Like, I think it was a very difficult hand she was dealt. But she also made some really key mistakes and is just incapable of being sort of like a normal person and, you know, going out in the world. Everything is poll tested. She doesn't really believe in anything. It's just like, let me put my finger in the wind and try to
This
figure
video
out where
seems
the
really
electorate is.
loud.
And people sensed
I'll
that.
turn it down a little
And
bit.
now, like, I could have been open to, you know, some growth and some development if she was in the fight now. But this is just, let me write a book and let me do some self-aggrandizement at a moment when, and I'll, you know, sort of like channeling a Democratic base here, like they feel, and I feel, the country is under imminent threat, that there is all this horror that is being produced in all these communities across the country, all of this crazy shit that's going on that we're covering every day. Where have you been? Like, if you want to be a leader, that doesn't mean you just show, oh, here I am and look at my resume and aren't I next in line? No, you actually have to lead. People.
Can Bernie Sanders just find the fountain of youth already and de-age like 2 decades and we can just try, let's just try President Sanders. I feel like I'm Donald Trump with my hand movements right now, but I just want to try President Sanders, bro. Bernard, we need you.
People want to see you out there fighting. They want to see you at an ICE protest getting arrested. Like, they want to see you at the Stop Oligarchy tour. They want to see you
like Bernard
rallying for Zoran. And all you're doing is your little self-promotional book tour. I mean, I find it utterly disqualifying, honestly, her absence and her lack of interest in what is happening in the country and the fights that are going on right now. And I have to think that the Democratic base is very much going to feel the same way. It's crazy to me how out of touch this lady is.
Yeah, I don't know though. But,
oh, you want
at the same
DeSantis?
time, if you look at the polls, she's always up there. She's got like 4 or 5. The Democratic base, while previously, you know.
Oh shit! I didn't know you were from Florida, Fox. So yeah, I bet you do feel some type of way about DeSantis. We just learned some lore on the channel.
Some fight and all of that. They still are deferential in some ways to previous party elites. Do they recognize?
I think it's over.
But do they recognize that the failure is Kamala's, or do they just blame Trump?
No,
or do they blame the American?
I think it's over. I mean,
I would like to know. I don't know.
I genuinely think, like, you know, even with regard to the primary polls, already she's not number one anymore.
No, yeah, that's true.
Already,
Pete Buttigieg
you know,
was number one.
Pete, Gavin, AOC was number one in a recent poll.
I was just about to say, I feel like AOC was gaining a lot of traction. I can't remember who her hypothetical running mate was going to be, but it really looked like AOC was on top of that race.
And Gavin in particular, you know, I think Gavin sucks, and we played the APAC, like, oh, that's interesting clip, and I think he's going to run into, you know, a few brick walls himself. But he is in the fight, you know, and the Democratic base certainly appreciates that. But no, if you look at their disgust with current Democratic Party leadership, you think they're going to go back to that well again? Like the person who was a proven loser? Absolutely not. And yet the way this works, Sagar, is like, I'm sure she has people around her who are there just to like glaze her and prop her up and tell her she's amazing and that everybody still loves her and they're just waiting for her to, you know, come out and have her coronation or whatever, because they profit, like they're in position, they're the consultants who are going to do the ad buys and place the media buys and get the percentage off of that. And, you know, they know that she can raise some money from, she's got all these donor connections or whatever. And so they have a personal financial interest in telling her that the country wants her and that there's some interest in her running for president again. It's insane to me.
Yeah, look.
Wish hard enough and it will come true.
Right. I want it to be that way. I still am skeptical. I just think there's a weird reverence for these types of figures. There's a long history, unfortunately, of California. Richard Nixon famously lost the election, you know, ran for governor, lost, as Kamala apparently had thought about it, and still was able to prevail in the primary and in the general election in 1968. So there is this weird thing that we have in this country of some sort of reverence. I would hope that you are correct, but also there's the theory of spoiler, right? Where she could have enough people. Here's my thing. Will enough people speak out vehemently against her? Elites from which they have some trust. Obama, you know, Biden, even maybe Pete Buttigieg, others who served with her, who are like, this woman is incompetent. She lost us the presidency.
I don't think that has
we can't go down that direction. I
mean,
hope
look at the
so.
way Andrew Cuomo was.
Yeah, he was abandoned. That's true. But he lost the primary.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but yeah, that's the thing.
But heading into the primary, it's not like people spoke out for Zoran Mamdani. Everybody just stayed silent. I mean, I guess silence
right, but
itself
that's what I'm saying.
But...
I don't know that it matters what Obama or, you know, certainly Joe Biden has to say about Kamala Harris. I think the base is in a very, very different place now. And
I'd say it carries some weight still. I mean, former presidents, former vice presidents, if you've got their endorsement, that's a good look automatically, I think. But I don't know. I'm kind of torn because had you asked me this question, like who's going to win in 2028, the Democrats or the Republicans, at the beginning of this second Trump term, I would have instantly said, oh, it's going to be the Republicans. They're going to win 2028 easily, just by the way the country is looking right now. But I'm not going to lie. After the Epstein shit, that kind of put a little bit of a stain on Trump and his administration. And I think by extension, that puts a bit of a stain on the Republican Party. Kind of interesting how Trump, before all of the Epstein stuff that involved him, he was just like, yeah, release the files, get them all out there, you know, let's lock up all these bad people. And now that he's implicated, he's just kind of like trying to brush it all aside. You know what I mean? So not a good look is what I'm trying to say. And I think it really muddies the waters. I'm not saying the Epstein shit is going to be the make or break it, but I think a lot of people are going to remember that come election time. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, what about Epstein and all that? And I think that's actually going to be a stain for the Republicans. I still think they're probably going to win, but it's not going to be a landslide like it was in 2024. Trump won handily, defeated Kamala. It wasn't close like with Clinton, you know, but I think it's probably going to be a lot closer in 2028.
You know, like Graham Platter is a perfect example of this. We saw two polls that had him way up on Janet Mills. There's another poll that came up that had her up, but he did a town hall last night in a town of like 2,200 people and got 700 people there. And they were the most like normie white.
Oh, wait a minute. I just saw what you guys were all talking about. The Don't Say Gay bill. I was watching Breaking Points. Yeah, you see it as a homophobia bill. Quentin says it's the parental rights bill. That's right. Yeah, it's been a while since I thought about that one, but that was the parental rights in education bill, right? Where they were limiting like what students in K through 3rd grade were exposed to, I think it was. I haven't thought about that one in a while. I remember getting into an argument with my former best friend about that because he's also a Florida native. So we got into a pretty heated discussion about it.
White hair, liberal looking, Democratic based voters that you could possibly imagine. It's just a different moment now. You know, they tried the Biden way, they tried the Kamala way, and it failed. And at the end of the day, they're not going to be.
Yeah, Trump is the most investigated man on the planet. Any files, if there are any, were in the hands of the Dems. If there was something implicating him, we would know. I'm actually not so sure about that because I feel like anything he may have been implicated in and the Democrats had it and they didn't release it, it's probably because there were also Democrats who were implicated in that stuff. So if they release the shit on Trump, they're releasing shit on their own peers. So it's just a bad look for everybody. You know what I mean? It really is a bad look for everybody, especially because before all of it started to come out, they're like, yeah, release the files, get them out there. Let's find out who the bad people are. And now it's just, what files? There are no Epstein files. We've investigated ourselves and found that there was no wrongdoing, no misconduct. Have a nice day. Move on to the next thing.
You know, they're not going to listen to those folks again.
Yeah, not a good look.
has lost their credibility. All sorts of liberal outlets have lost their credibility. I truly think that they are in a very different place than they were last time around. And by the way, these are the voters that also at least had the good sense to reject her in 2020 as well before she even got to the,
I see what you're saying about the bill. More important things to deal with than making it illegal for people in school to mention homosexuality. I don't think Fox is here anymore, but from what I understand, that bill, it didn't say anything about not mentioning sexuality, because I read it. It was a very short bill. It was only like 3 pages, I think. And the main crux of that bill was just limiting what K through 3rd grade students were exposed to in the curriculum. There was actually nothing about not saying gay. That was a colloquial name for the bill that the political opposition just attached to it to make it sound worse than it actually was. And from what I can tell, I mean, like, whether you agree with it or not, from what I could tell, there was nothing in there about like not saying gay or not hiring teachers who were gay. It was just about what the curriculum was about for a specific grade level.
To the starting line.
Credit.
So, you know, I look, we'll see. But even if I just think about Gavin Newsom, like, I think Gavin would eat her lunch. And he has the same donor base.
I want them to have a fight. Like, I want them to have to come out and be like, she's an abject failure and we're not going down this path ever.
They're not going to do that.
Yeah,
like
the short film 18 Months, watch it. It's about a gay man who rescues a baby and the court fights him on adopting the baby he saved. True story. 7 minutes long, but will make you cry. Hell yeah, 18 Months. That's worth a watch. We can watch that one together, babe. Well, I mean, I don't want you to see me cry.
That's the
in
word.
party,
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to do that. But
I'm a
I don't
man.
think it matters. Like, the voters themselves will render the judgment. And so, you know, Gavin has the same. These are donor creatures. Like her and Gavin, these are establishment donor creatures. And he's a much better political animal.
But yeah, I totally believe that the courts would fight him on that. I'd like to think in the year 2025 we're a lot more accepting of gay people and gay parenting, like parents who are gay. I don't know what the whole system is like. Like I've never had to go through the adoption process or anything like that. I'd like to imagine it's a lot better now, but it might not be. I'm not sure.
And political, like,
I totally agree.
Than she is. And they have similar donor bases, both coming out of California. So if I even just think about him versus her, let alone the AOCs or whoever is to emerge over these coming years that are much more charismatic and much more finger on the pulse of where the Democratic base is, I don't think she's got a prayer. But
I truly hope so. I remain cynical about some politics, and it's one of those where I want to see the election status. Who knows where things are going to be in 2023? I could just it's not that I count her out. I don't count out the machine. The machine is powerful, and at the very least, like, they convince this, like you're saying, the voters will.
I pronounced virgin wrong, or somebody in chat, because that's right. I am a virgin. Never forget.
way, and I'm like, they didn't in 2024.
I've never even
They
kissed
just
a girl,
handed her
chat.
ass the nomination, and she literally got to run for president with no pushback. Even now, everyone can admit KJP was a disaster. We can admit Kamala, but has there been like, remember, oh, I forgot the DNC, what is it called? The retrospective, the autopsy, how they won't examine Kamala? Like nobody's blaming this woman. Nobody in the party even today can be like, you were a disaster. Nobody can say it.
Among the powerful.
Yeah, but
you know, in the way that 2020 went down is in terms of like Bernie being defeated and everybody rallying around Biden was these elite figures and the media apparatus still had sway.
Yeah.
And when they said Biden's our guy, the base flipped immediately. I mean, it was stunning. They do like that does not exist anymore. Doesn't exist anymore. And Plattner, I mean, it was a long way to go, and I'm not saying that he's gonna win. I don't know what's gonna happen in Maine, but you know, they threw everything.
That's interesting that she says that because I feel like it does still happen, but maybe it's just because that older generation of establishment politicians, like they're so fucking old at this point that it's just not realistic for them. So I feel like it is still happening. It's just happening with the younger, fresher crop of politicians, like the AOCs, the Pete Buttigieg's. Like they're significantly younger than the Joe Bidens and like the Barack Obamas and the Nancy Pelosi's and stuff, right? Like Pete Buttigieg, I don't think he's even 50, right? Like same with AOC, she's barely 40. I feel like I could be wrong about that, but I think it does still happen in terms of establishment politicians getting pushed. We just don't see them that way because they're so much younger.
They had at him in a 2020 era, it would have been enough. He would have had to drop out. Like, he wouldn't have even gotten to this place to start with, right? Janet Mills is here. She's the sitting governor of Maine. Of course we're going to back Janet Mills. Like, who do you think you are? And so the fact that he can even stay in the race and is, you know, at least a 50-50 shot to be the nominee tells you it is a totally different day.
That's a good
in the Democratic.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's going to win either. My main question is about, no, you're right, is that in the old days he would have been done.
Yeah.
Is that they would have been like, oh, other people will vote
You have a
for him.
Nazi tattoo.
Yeah.
Like, and you can stay in the race now as a Democrat, and people are flooding your town halls. That is a very different moment for the Democratic base. I wanted to get to this because I love it. So Kathy Hochul, again, this is another sign that things are
who has a
very much
Nazi
shifting.
tattoo? What the fuck? What are we talking
I have
about?
a Nazi tattoo.
Yeah.
Like, and is, you know, at least a 50-50 shot to be the nominee tells you it is a totally different day. And so the fact that he can even stay in the race and is, you know, at least a 50-50 shot
Hold on, I
to
need to
be
look
the
that up.
nominee tells you it is a totally different day.
That's a good point.
In the Democratic.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's going to win either. My main question is about, no, you're right, is that in the old days he would have been done.
I missed who
Is that
she was
they would have
talking
been like,
about.
oh, other people will vote
You have a
for him.
Nazi tattoo.
Yeah.
Like, and you can stay in the race now as a Democrat, and people are flooding your town halls. That is a very different moment for the Democratic base. I wanted to get to this because I love it. So Kathy Hochul.
Oh, the main candidate, Graham Plattner. Maine Democratic Senate candidate. He says, I'm not a secret Nazi. Interesting. I didn't even know about that.
Again, this is another sign that things are very much shifting and in flux with the Democratic base. Kathy Hochul felt the pressure to go and rally with Zoran. At this rally was Bernie, AOC, Zoran, and Brad Lander and others, and Kathy Hochul, who had positioned herself previously as this very like moderate centrist figure. And the crowd chants at her aggressively, tax the rich, because Zoran needs the Albanese cooperation in order to fund things like free childcare. And she has opposed that. And so the crowd is aware of that. And so they're chanting tax the rich. Zoran has to kind of like come out and save her so she doesn't get booed off the stage. And so she gets asked about this moment. It's a very Kamala Harris answer that she gives here. And she pretends she didn't hear, she didn't know that they were saying tax the rich. She thought they were saying like, let's go Bills or something like that.
Claims that she said, yeah.
Let's take a listen to D2.
I thought they were saying "Let's go Bills." I wasn't sure. I mean, when you're up there, I heard some noise. I heard a lot of cheers, but later on, it became clear to me that I know there's passion for that.
Oh my God.
Let's go Bills and Queens, huh?
Incredible. It reminds me because remember, what was it on Medicare for All? Kamala like raised her hand saying that we should get rid of all private insurance, and then she thought better of that, and then she, I didn't hear the question. I didn't understand.
Hey, welcome back,
Also,
Fox.
the infamous fuck Joe Biden chants that turned into let's go Brandon. So there's been.
Oh my God, Quentin, do not. No, I am not going into politics, bro. I would be a fucking disaster. I'd be a fucking disaster. Start for Washington State Congress. I would be a disaster for establishment politics. A, because I don't know shit. B, because I'm all about giving power to the people. So it's like I would just be giving middle fingers to all of my peers. You know what I mean? I'd be like, fuck you, fuck her, fuck him. Nah, power to the people, bro. Yeah, the government would absolutely hate my guts. I'd do better than most. In the eyes of the people, maybe. But in the eyes of the politicians, nah. They would hate me. They would fucking hate me.
And there's been a lot of those there. Everyone, and anyway, look, again, I'm newer to football, but let's go Bills in Queen. Come on, all right? On a day when the Jets won, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, you know what you're talking about, right?
And she even
Exactly. I'd get voted out in the first month. Just what's the term? The shit that they did to Trump, try to get him out of office a couple times. I'm drawing a blank on terms right now. You know what I'm talking about. You know, the thing with the thing that happens to the thing.
responded. She was
That
like,
thing.
I hear you. Like the way
Yeah.
she responded indicated she understood what the crowd was ultimately chanting at her.
Impeached,
This is an
thank you.
interesting
That's the
clip,
one. Yeah, I'd
too,
get impeached
the
immediately.
Morning Joe creatures coming out and Joe Scarborough sort of like accepting the rise of Zoran Mamdani. This is D3. Let's listen.
Mom Donnie, there I did it right, and they've been Bernie Sanders. And what do they have in common? They have a populist message, and yes, people are going to say, oh, they're socialists, they're socialists, they're socialists. Yeah, they said that about Barack Obama, too, and he kicked Republicans' ass twice. So it's that populist message that they're putting out there that even there are times that even Steve Bannon goes, yeah, what AOC's saying there, I agree with. And a lot of people like in the populist wing of the MAGA party agree with a lot of that stuff too. Same thing with Lisa Kahn and what she was doing about breaking up monopolies. There is a lane for populist Democrats to run in and to win.
Lisa
Tucker,
Kahn.
he's a big Lisa Kahn fan.
Lisa Kahn fan. Jesus.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, for him to, give Zoran any credit, not back Cuomo or stay neutral or whatever. I mean, this man hated Bernie Sanders back during both of his runs. So again, shows you he's trying to have his, finger in the wind of where things are
Well,
ultimately
he's a New York City resident. He wants to stay on the good side. And, we'll see. I do think it's all interesting.
Actually, he probably lives in New Jersey. I don't know. Or Connecticut. I bet he lives in Connecticut.
You don't think he's a Manhattan guy?
I think he's a Connecticut
He does give
guy.
me Connecticut.
Yeah.
He gives me Connecticut tax.
I'm going to look it up while you're
Totally
talking.
I don't know. At the same time, him and Mika are so into the social scene. I kind of think they are. So here's my theory, because I know that they have a house in Florida. They are 6-month and 1-day people in Florida, and the rest of the time, Manhattan, Penn. Oh, damn.
I'll get him.
I would have.
Has anyone had a better run of movies than Patrick Swayze, starting with Red Dawn to Ghost? I'm unfamiliar with Patrick. I mean, I know the name, but I'm not like a fan necessarily. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an actor or actress who has had a really, really good run. Yeah, actually, Pedro Pascal. Bro is in everything. So I would say Pedro Pascal gives him a run for his money. Easy peasy. In the last 5 years, Pedro's done like 1,000 movies.
Yes, I would have guessed Manhattan Penthouse for 5 months and 29 days for tax dodging status.
They do also have a place in Florida.
Okay, all right. See, I knew that at least.
Yeah.
All right, I knew that at least. Yeah, let's stick with this though, because I think this is fascinating. This kind of gets to the Zoran point. Let's put this new chart up on the screen. This is from a new kind of centrist platform thing called Deciding to Win. And they put out a bunch of polling on the Democratic Party. And I thought this was absolutely fascinating. This is the change in the frequency per 1,000 words of select terms in the party platform from 2012 to 2014. So the mention of jobs from 2012,
wow. Okay.
percentage change to 2014 was minus 47%. Economic is minus 48%. Middle class was minus 79%. Economy minus 50. Work minus 19. Veteran minus 31. Criminal minus 30. Small business minus 23. Equity plus 766.
That's actually really interesting.
Reproductive plus 766. LGBT plus 1,044. Guns plus 725. Climate plus 150. And white, black, Latino up 11,000 or 1,100% in percentage change in the Democratic platform. By the way, another thing that they note, just to kind of the
honestly
managerial
really telling. That's really telling where their mind is at with like the frequency of the terms used per 1,000 words of select terms in the Democratic Party platform. Oh, and this is from 2012 to 2014, so this isn't necessarily recent. Unless it's saying the first column is from 2012 to 2014, and maybe the percentage change is where it's at today. But that is actually really interesting to look at. So yeah, like veteran affairs are down 31%, work is down 19%, the economy is down 50%, middle class down 79%, economic down 48%, and jobs down 47%. That's really telling where like they're trying to appeal, what they're trying to appeal to by the language that they're using.
Democratic creep of the Democratic Party platform is that it just became super long. It was pages and pages and pages long. And what I thought was so instructive, I think I borrowed this from Josh Barrow, one of the best things Trump did for the Republican Party platform is he made it like 2 pages. He was like, we're gonna make America great, safe, and awesome again. And that's it. No policies, like really inside of it. And it was deeply, like it was short, it was understandable. What this kind of demonstrated to me was all of those like constituent check marks around land acknowledgements, trans, LGBT, immigration. You can see the job all starting to go down in there. Like that was the cultural takeover over any economic message. And fundamentally, like that's what went wrong for them. I just did that event with Hassan Piker. Even he agrees with me. He's like, yeah, liberals use this bullshit to get away from talking about even the most like basic problems of Americans. And like, that's why they lost.
I mean, Sagar, look at what they're trying to do to Zoran, like right now in the New York Prime. Like, he doesn't care about Jewish people enough. And, you know, he's not going to protect.
He's eating rice with his hands.
They have.
I saw something on Abbott and Preach yesterday where people were getting on Zoran Mamdani's case for eating rice with his hands. Like he was having an interview or something with somebody and he was just holding rice and just like putting it into his mouth with his bare hands. And people were losing their shit over it. Like other congressmen talking about how it's like, we're more civilized here in the United States. And it's like, really, bro? Like, how do you eat pizza? Do you cut it up with a fork and knife? How do you eat a hamburger? Do you fucking use a spoon to eat a hamburger? No, we use our fucking hands. Like, yeah, I get rice is kind of like a cultural thing. Like, personally, for me, I eat rice with either a fork, spoon, or chopsticks, depending on how sticky it is. If it's like sticky sushi rice, like I'll use chopsticks. If it's physically on sushi, sometimes I'll even use my hands to eat the whole thing. But like to act like eating food with your hands is uncivilized is like, what the fuck? Such a reach. Stretch McArmstrong reach. And they were getting on his case for that. I just thought that was funny.
Never stop doing it. They're still doing it. Even as they're still blaming the left. Oh, it's the left's fault that the Democratic Party went too woke. I've seen Liz Smith talking about this online. And now they're trying to, you know, cancel Graham for like his old Reddit posts and his tattoo and cancel Zoran because he was insufficiently like whatever with the, you know, didn't say whatever magic words they want him to or condemn whatever magic phrase they want him to. This is the liberal playbook. Now, I'm not going to say, so they're the originators of this direction because they saw that post-financial collapse, coming into the later part of the Obama years, you can see this economic discontent. You can see the rise of this like Bernie-style populist energy in the party, and they've got to block it. And rather than, you know, saying, oh, well, they realize that just selling the same old centrism isn't going to work. So Hillary in particular, of course, Ryan wrote the book on this, literally. Hillary in particular,
Mr. Grimm?
pioneers. I'm going to sort of position myself like I'm actually to the left of Bernie because he doesn't care enough about racism. He doesn't care enough and talk enough about sexism. And breaking up the big banks isn't going to end racism. And that is what she uses aggressively to defeat Bernie and his movement and tag his followers as toxic Bernie bros who are misogynistic and racist and sexist. So they roll.
That's so interesting because I'm not gonna lie. I remember like several years ago, people using the term Bernie bro in a negative way. I use it ironically because it's like I was a supporter of Bernie Sanders. I wanted him to win in 2016 and I wanted him to win in 2020. Well, I was also on the Tulsi Gabbard train, so I recant that. I was a Bernie bro in 2016. I was on the Tulsi train in 2020. But I still would have loved President Sanders in 2020 also. But I remember that people were talking about Bernie bros being racists and sexist, and I'm just like, wait, what the fuck? How did this happen? I thought like Bernie's the good guy. What the fuck are we doing here? But that makes sense. If Bernie's not talking enough about those social issues, there might be some people who view him a certain way. I remember in 2020, people were calling him a sexist because he wouldn't get out of the way of the female politicians who were trying to become the Democratic nominee. And it's like, if you really cared about women's rights, you would, get out of the way and let the women do their thing. And for that, he was being labeled a sexist. So it's just interesting some of the reaches that people will make to get their point across. And they'll go so far as to throw their own allies under the bus to get the outcome that they want. It's like, I thought it was a good thing being a Bernie bro, but I guess I'm a racist sexist now.
About this playbook. Now, then the Bernie Sanders wing adopts a lot of this language as well. So they sort of join in this project. So then you have a whole of party project that is in this very, cultural identity direction. Of course, Bernie always holds on to like his core populist values, but adopts a lot more of this language. But it really does come from liberals trying to defeat the left. And again, we know that because they're literally still using that playbook to this day. So I do think it's a longer conversation about this whole study that they did. It's, it's a lot of centers like Biden people and whatever that put this out. There's a longer conversation about that. But this chart in particular, I think is very useful and very instructive over the reason why people rightly felt that this party is really not focused on economic issues.
And they're not based on that chart.
Their commitment to delivering for the working class and, are, talking about things that are not core to my life and feel disconnected from me and that I may, really disagree with. People are not crazy to feel that way is the bottom line here.
100%.
Right.
The other thing is if you look at the most unpopular Democratic positions from the same graphic, number one is the least popular position is abolish the police. Number 2 is prisons. Number 3, provide free health care to illegals. 4, lowering the voting age to 16. 5, cutting police budgets by 10. 6, getting rid of tracking in school.
Lowering the voting age to 16? I'm glad that's unpopular. Good God. Anywho. Not gonna lie, chat, I'm kind of streamed out right now. I was considering going live on the Star Bazaar a little bit later. Maybe I still will. It depends on how I'm feeling, but it's coming up on 4 p.m. my time right now. I've been live for just about 3 hours, a little over 3 hours. Oh my fucking God, I've been live for almost 4 hours. Jesus Christ. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. All right, guys, I'm going to call it there. You've been a wonderful audience. Let me go back to my mug. FaceTime, FaceTime, FaceTime. All right, cool, chat. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for kicking it with me. I'm not going to give a date or a time as to when I'll be live again because I can't be sure about that myself. Not going to lie. Live streaming, especially on the main channel, it's kind of lost its flavor. It's a piece of gum that's just been chewed out at this point. I need to find something to get my passion back for gaming because right now it's just not it. Basically, the only game I want to play is Rivals, and that's just to rank up, just because I need to hit Grandmaster. One of these seasons, I need to hit Grandmaster. So if I do stream on the main, it's probably going to be some Rivals content. Or I'll just do what I always do when I get no views and default back to Battlefront. But nah, I had fun today. I hope you guys did too, man. Some kind of heavy topics in this one. It was not the smoothest as far as, because even the chat got a little bit heated, but I appreciate the fact that everybody was respectful. Some of the video topics that we watched were a little contentious and controversial, but you know what? That is the nature of things here at the Libservative. As long as we appreciate each other, respect one another, we can have these difficult discussions. I could try Hitman as something new and unique. Are you just saying that because I look like him? You just saying that because I look like Agent 47? Maybe. Nah. Yeah, hey, the heavy topics were nice. You enjoyed it quite nicely. Good. I enjoy it too. I like talking about it, and especially because I really don't have much of an outlet to talk about this stuff. I really appreciate the fact that my girlfriend is open to it. Like she and I are able to have deep, meaningful conversations about difficult things, and it's always a judgment-free zone, and I appreciate the hell out of her for that. Same as I appreciate you guys, man. This is a safe space, and I hope everybody feels that way while they're here. But that's it for me, man. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you hopefully soon. Peace!